Welcome, race fans, to race number 10 of the Belly Up Sports Cup Series here at the Rock for the Rock 200. 2 races left of the regular season to get these drivers narrowed down to 14 for the playoffs here. Qualifying is underway. We're excited to see how these Cup cars perform at this bumpy 1.5 mile racetrack, or no, 1 mile racetrack. As
there you go.
Myself, Gerald, here, Gerald Campbell doing the announcing. Joining me tonight, David Westergreen also being the co-announcer, and in the booth doing the broadcast is going to be Carlos Acosta with us here, giving us these wonderful shots at the Rock. Very interesting racetrack here, Dave. Wouldn't you say? There's a lot of historic moments at this track, and the bumps kind of create most of that, wouldn't you say?
This is my favorite racetrack on the circuit, Gerald, on iRacing even, right? I love this place. This is a racetrack I grew up with. I know you did too. You know, as race car fans, we've seen the Rock, we've seen the highlights, all the past races, great finishes and good racing that this thing has put on, and you know, it's a little chaotic on top of that, right? It's got a very tight turn to 2 different corners, asymmetrical racetrack, bumps, like you said, throughout, especially throughout 3 and 4. Where that corner a little less banked, a lot of bumps, and you can run kind of both lanes in that corner. Turn 1 is a lot tighter, a lot more banked. I think we'll probably see guys run both lanes, but my history on this sim has told me you want to run the bottom in turns 1 and 2, and if you don't, you're going to burn your tires off, fall to the back. Those are my favorite kind of racetracks where there's multiple grooves, but you really got to focus in order to get the most out of your car at this place.
Well, qualifying is underway for these drivers. We're going to see how everything shakes up, see what kind of lines they run. This is the next-gen car, so it doesn't necessarily follow the standard protocol of most stock cars here. But as we said, we are at a mile racetrack here. We're going to take a look at the points here because this is the second to the last regular season race. The points are going to be something that we're going to be talking about and something that we're going to have to take a look at as, oh boy, that's something you don't want to see in the race here. He really does need to change his paint scheme, Dave.
He clearly doesn't. He doesn't watch the broadcast, does he? We've been telling him.
Broadcast. Yeah, the green's not working.
Turn it on. Turn it on.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the points as they are right now. Matthew Weeks is still leading it with a decent lead over Tyler Fody, last week's winner. So that regular season at the top of the board with those extra points still going to be contested, I think, all the way to Daytona, which is the final race of the regular season. Top 14 are the drivers that are going to make it. Top 12 in points. And the final 2 spots are reserved for either the top guy in points without a win, or if there's more than 2 winners that are within the top 20 in points. So next week we'll go into more detail, but just know all these drivers you see on screen are going to go about trying to hope for a good race here, at least a decent race to help themselves either lock themselves in or get themselves closer to that cutoff line. Qualifying has just wrapped up, and we're going to take almost, actually, 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I'm sorry, I was a little ahead. As qualifying is almost wrapped up, like I said, this is kind of the point standings as they run. Only 1 driver is technically in on points with a win for that top 14. So right now it looks like the top 13 that can be able to point their way in.
Carlos, can you pull up the graphic one more time, please? Real quick, just to iron this out. Cut line right now is Fortner to Seth Rawls. That's your cut line, or Schuld to Rawls. Rawls and Fortner are the 2 right behind. Seth Rawls 5 points back. So the drivers that are below Seth Rawls there are the ones you're going to want to keep your eye on in terms of those who need to gain to get into the chase, and guys right above Ryan Schold, Johnny Thomas, and others. Those are the ones you're going to want to see hold off those guys behind. So it'll be a battle for sure. I think Ryan Gable is the only driver that's technically locked in, and let's go through the starting lineup, I think.
Yeah, I think Carlos here was getting us started for us. Yeah, let's go ahead and go through that cutoff, or go through the starting grid here, as we do have a very interesting qualifying order here. Let's see. Starting on pole here. No, we got an issue.
I am trying to figure this out.
Folks, we've got an issue. We had a massive log out here. I think we're going to be switching lobbies here.
Oh.
So we may have to take a break, and we will be back as we're going to try to find out if maybe we're just we're switching lobbies, or if this was a massive log out by a bunch of the drivers here. I'm going to have to guess it was probably they decided that there was an issue with the race with how the setup was, and we're probably going to have a different lobby here. So give us a second, folks, as we try to figure that out right now.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Oh,
Back?
Yeah. Hey, we're under a rain delay,
alrighty.
fellas.
Sorry about that, folks. We're back now. They are qualifying right now as we speak. I have more information as to why we're underneath this virtual rain delay, technically. Imagine all these little rain dots, or Chad trying to make a race lobby and trying to figure it out. It's all over the place. So he made the Chevy qualifying setup to a road course. So needless to say, all the Chevys were not too happy about having a road course setup at Rockingham. So needless to say, we are back with the right setup for qualifying for all these drivers, and they are on track qualifying, and it seems like everyone is a little bit more pleased about their car now that it can actually get up to 5th gear and get around the racetrack. It's just what you have to expect with when Chad's setting up the lobbies. When you say, David?
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility when it comes to elite, and also, you know, he has to set up 4 or 5 a week. You know, it's understandable that 1 or 2 end up going wrong over the course of a long season.
Yeah, 1 or 2, 5, 9. It gets there. It gets there. Qualifying is underway, as we just stated here, and these drivers have a lot of time now on the track to figure things out and figure out where the bumps are. But they are all saying on track here that it is very snappy loose. It just depends on where you hit the bumps, and if you can believe it, at the Rock, there's a lot of bumps that these drivers are going to have to deal with. So do suspect that these drivers are going to have a handful tonight. Trying to get around there, as you're seeing a bunch of drivers going around getting their qualifying laps in. Ooh, that's going to affect his qualifying lap there.
Well,
a couple more minutes.
Trey Holmes.
Yeah, for the 600. What a 600 that was last week, Dave. That was, if not one of the most impressive 600s I think we've ever witnessed in the elite. We had one of the longest green flag runs we've ever seen, with, what was it, somewhere around like 250 laps, 56 laps or something, I think it was, that we went green at the end there, all the way to the checker flag. It was something to behold, for sure.
Yeah, it was refreshing, right? I mean, we saw a number of cautions early in the race, but it allowed a number of strategies to play out. It allowed a lot of lead changes. We saw 4 different winners of stages. Technically, 3 different winners of stages, and then Tyler Fody took home the checkered flag as well. So, you know, it was an exciting race. It was a refreshing race. We saw a lot of clean driving. We really hadn't seen a whole lot of that this season from this group, especially coming off of 23 cautions at USA a couple weeks ago. So, you know, a refreshing sentiment that I hope we carry into this race here. You know, you mentioned it's going to be difficult to handle. These guys are going to have to race the racetrack, and that might come at the expense of racing each other a little bit. You know, hopefully we see that give and take and that respect that we saw last week kind of come back to the forefront here again this week at the Rock. And you know, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Time will tell, but I know what I'm hoping for, and that's kind of a repeat of last week.
Well, again, we have a really good number of drivers showing up. 43 drivers, so no driver going home tonight. All 43 spots are filled, and
It would have been me.
a full field of cars here tonight. What was that, Carlos?
It would have been me.
It would have been you going home? I don't know. I think you would have been able to make it. You did a really good qualifying at...
Well, here's the thing, though.
Qualifying.
Oh, yes, definitely my best qualifying, followed by my worst racing results performance in my whole life. But also, I would have had no practice at this track. I drive Chevys. That would have been the wrong setup. I don't think I'm that skilled enough for me to figure it out that quickly during qualifying only.
You would have been fine. You would have been just fine. To be fair, Carlos, Dave and I both witnessed a lot of drivers make the same mistake you did. Yours just so happened to bring out a caution. We saw former champion Nick Massey have an issue. We saw a few drivers that pit road. And don't beat yourself up too much.
I'm over it. It was the second tally it was frustrating, but the first one was like just really a strange thing where I had a wireless keyboard and my dog stepped on it and sat on it, and it just made it so I couldn't see on the track when I was in the middle 3 wide. But that's in the past. That's probably not going to happen again. Let's switch on over to qualifying results.
Yeah, some people's dogs eat their homeworks and some step on their keyboard, so it happens. Qualifying has wrapped up here, and we have a different look at the front of the field here that we see on most. It's going to be Justin Wadsworth leading us on pole, Nick Massey in second, Jonathan Cutlip in third, fourth is going to be Ethan Burrell, Gavin Hibbs is going to be... Sorry, my son was there. Scott Crump in sixth, Trey Holmes in seventh, Tyler Fody, 8th. Should have locked the door. Nate Lytle in 9th, and David Hooker in 10th.
Yeah, and then we've got Andrew Rucker going to be qualifying in 11th spot with a Leighton Norgard to his outside. Josh Robin will start 13th with Chad Frankenfield starting in 14th. Might see him cutting it 3 wide early to move to the front. 15th will be Hunter Smith, followed by Ryan Gable, who is the only race winner not currently in the top 14 in points. In 17th will be potential Rookie of the Year candidate Ty McIntosh. Alongside him will be Ethan Stanley, who is high up in points but is still looking for his first win of the season. 18th is Jordan Owens, and 20th will be Chase hopeful Justin Fortner, who's just on the outside looking in right now.
21st position is going to be Matthew Weeks. Our points leader going to be starting deep in the field. 22nd, Nick Indelicato starting in 22nd. 23rd is going to be Seth Rawls. 24th, Garrison Hogan. Another driver starting back far that we would see normally up front. Starting 25th is going to be Johnny Thomas, hoping some luck goes his way. Michael Hossack, 26th. Ryan Scholl, 27th, and Joshua Clark, 28th. 29th is going to be Brent Jones, and 30th, Vincent Isabella. How about you go ahead and do the top, the next 13 as the pace car is starting to roll.
31st will be Robert, I believe Jesse Racimus. 32nd, Robert Hill. 33rd will be Kyle Hanshaw. 34th, Andrew Hardcastle. 35th will be, I think, Casey Hatch. 36th is Justin Vandermarl. 37th will be Michael Goodman. 38th, Chris Wright. 39th, Richard Hines. 40th, Mark Rabilis. 41st will be Chris Stouffer. 42nd will be Joshua Personette. 43rd will be a newcomer to Elite that I have not seen before, Richie Hearn. Hopefully he has a good debut race. And then looks like Ryan Scholl did not make the start, and that is impactful because he currently is the bubble driver for the chase.
Yeah, very interesting. That's definitely going to shake up the points here before we get to Daytona, and it's all going to start here. These drivers have 200 laps at the Rock to try to get it done. They're going to have to try to master the bumps here. And it all starts now, where the racing gets good and the good get racing. We're green flag for the Rock 200.
But Justin Wadsworth, pole sitter, we went through the lineup, didn't get a chance to shout him out. That's a darn good qualifying lap. Wadsworth leads him to turn 1.
Very good qualifying run for him. He's going to be able to stick right in front of Nick Massey there. Nick Massey is going to be following right behind him. Another driver right there, Nick Massey, looking to have a better season than he's had so far. Both of these drivers looking to try to improve their chances of being able to make the playoffs.
There's a couple more guys right behind that are having really good seasons. Ethan Burrell, Scott Crump, Jonathan Cutlip, all have been really strong this season in this next-gen car. We got an incident.
Straight away. Oh, it's going to be Josh Robin, and it's going to be a Leighton Norgard in the 33. I saw Leighton Norgard get loose and get a bump, and that went right wrong for Josh Robin. That's rough, because Robin was in the very first wreck at the 600 last week, too.
Oh, boy. Already our first incident of the day, and is a Leighton Norgard taking the brunt of it. Let's see what happened. Yeah, got loose.
And right in front of Robin.
That's just what you mentioned, Gerald. That snappy loose condition. That's exactly what we saw right there from the Leighton Norgard. That car wiggled, shot up the racetrack, hit the outside wall, and it was, it was on from there.
Yeah, this is exactly what a lot of drivers were kind of fearing tonight that they were going to have to deal with. It was a situation of snap loose because of the bumps, and these cars are notorious for not being able to do so well on the bumps, and well, we're at the king of bumps here, at the Rock. Chad had nowhere to go, gave him a bump. I really don't blame anything on Chad for that one. That was just a situation that Chad had nowhere to go, and on a track like this where it tightens up at the end of the turns, that's kind of what it leads to.
It's kind of lucky that Chad didn't get a bunch of front nose damage.
Yeah, he didn't get involved with it or get behind himself.
Like Ryan Gable might have gotten a little bit of damage there in that 0-1 car as well. Dave Huck not with us tonight. It's Carlos Acosta in the production booth, and obviously, I think Dave's still in. Was it Toronto? Was he flying back from? Maybe it was Texas.
I
Two
believe
different
that
places.
was.
They both start with T. Dave's flying back, and
he's in the air.
Oh.
He's flying first class somewhere.
Huck's car got out of there. It's okay. A 0-1 still in the mix, Dave.
How about anytime we do like a blimp view, we'll just say we're seeing straight from Dave's perspective of the race for tonight. Stage is going to be at the halfway point. They have 5 sets of tires. Doubt that they'll be taking them on this early here, but 5 sets of tires. I did see tires play a little bit of a speed difference there, but again, it's gonna play out to when these cautions are gonna be thrown. I know a lot of drivers were scared to see how a green flag pit stop would cycle out with the speed difference between new and old and how tight this track is. So hopefully we get to that point. We get to see some incredible action from there. The pace car lights are off. These drivers are going to get going green here once again.
Let's see how they do. I think that challenge is pretty exciting thought process, right? I mean, Rockingham always has good tire wear, and these cars not known for their tire wear, but if we can get something like that on the sim, that'd be mighty fine by me.
I think we would appreciate it. Well, the pace car is going to be coming down. It's going to be back to Justin Wadsworth, which I would say is having one of his best races so far. It's very early, but this is a good way to get it going here. Gets it going fairly quickly there. He gets out to a decent-sized lead. Nick Massey stacks him up just a little bit. Now it's going to be two by two from about the second row on back.
Scott Crump's going to take over that third spot over Ethan Burrell. Looks like Tyler Fode's going to follow his Lake Norman Motorsports teammate through. Burrell a little slow on that bottom lane. David Tooker's also going to try to cut through and get into the top 5 here.
Oh, they're getting loose back there already. A lot of drivers deciding to either push it now and try to see if they can gain the spots while they have fresh tires, or try to save it here. Oh, Ethan Burrell gets a little bit loose. That's going to be a common sight here, getting loose out of the turns. You just got to make sure you don't overcorrect it here, as these drivers are all trying to figure out what's the best way to get around this racetrack right now.
There's a lot of action right now throughout the pack. I saw Vincent Isabella's cutting through the field. I've seen action from Tyler Fode to get up to 4th. He's up a number of spots so far. So is David Tooker up to 5th. That outside line really went on the restart. These guys seem to prefer being able to carry that speed on that initial restart. As here comes the battle for second. Scott Crump going after Nick Massey.
I will say, Dave, I picked Scott Crump to pick this race in our podcast on Thursday nights, and it's well said that this is probably one of Scott Crump's best racetracks here, and you're seeing it now. Very strong early on, and have to believe that this one's going to have to go through his hand.
Scott Crump has driven straight to the lead, right around Justin Wadsworth, who leads the first 8 laps, or maybe 9 laps. A really good admirable effort from the pole by Justin Wadsworth, and Scott Crump looks like he might be on a different level early in this race. And Crump's real fast at keeping the tires on that car while going fast. So I don't anticipate there's much saving going on from that 6 car right now. It's kind of all Scott Crump, Leon Promoter.
And he's very notorious for doing that. He'll jump out front there and then kind of slow down the pace to his level, and then just kind of ride there and let everyone burn up the stuff while he continues to get away. So I do believe that's probably what we're going to see here. Scott wants to be able to be out front to have the control, have the speed difference. And your thought was that these drivers are going to be running the bottom for a lot of that, and that's what we see in normal stock cars here, is the bottom seems to be the fast way. That is not the case. Everyone seems to want to be up at that high side, as well as our leader.
Guys that I tend to watch for to see where they run, to know where that fast line, that preferred tire saving line is. Those guys, Garrison Hogan, Tate Lytle, they're running the bottom of the racetrack. Some of these guys that are hunting that top, I think they might be trying to burn the tires off a little bit.
Rewind.
One of these cars right here, that's Ryan Gable way up to the top of the racetrack. He's one of the ones making moves, right? I think I see a number of guys at like plus 10. I see Garrison Hogan's up to plus 10. And Gable's up there at plus 4. He's hanging it high, wide, and Hanson. These guys have been 3 wide for a lap now.
Yeah, these guys are really pushing it right now. Sideways, out of the turns. We saw 3 wide there. Caution is out on the track. I'm trying to see where. Not sure where.
Live timing leaderboard.
I'm seeing maybe Kyle Hanshaw.
Hanshaw's last.
Uh-oh.
Oh, him and Robert Hill.
Yeah, Robert Hill and Kyle Hanshaw. I'm seeing smoke coming out of, I think, Robert Hill. And I'm seeing a fender on the ground, so. Oh, no. Oh, hard hit for Robert Hill. Oh, man, that was a hard hit.
That was exactly, again, that's the second wreck in a row. Seeing exactly Gerald's point, right? A loose car, a loose condition, a little bit of an overcorrection by the driver, and an innocent bystander taken out in the process, right? It was Josh Robin, now Robert Hill, taken out by another driver's mistake, racing, the car and the drivers around the top of this racetrack.
I tell you what, the coffee beans on Robert Hill's car are grounded completely. So you can make a nice coffee out of that one right now. It's completely grounded down as he is destroyed the wall there. That was real life. They would have to probably fix the wall. That's how hard he hit it. Got the whole back tires up off the ground. He hit it so hard. So rough going for Robert Hill. That's going to be race over for him. We'll take another look here just to give you an idea. Boom! All 4 tires up off the ground. That's how hard he hit. And yeah, that's done. That's donezo on that car.
It's a tough break for Robert Hill for sure, and we've seen in real life in the early 2000s when I was first watching this, every broadcast would point out the treachery of turn 2, right? That corner exit is so tight, the wall comes up on you so quickly, and in 15 laps, we've seen 2 separate drivers have an issue coming off of turn 2 in this next gen car where they get wiggly because they're trying to keep it off that outside wall, and they go for a spin. And this is just an evidence of that Rockingham is always going to be Rockingham. No matter what car you throw out here, turn 2 is going to be tough because of the nature of that tight corner exit, and that wall comes up on you. It doesn't matter what car you run. That's always going to be the trouble spot at this racetrack.
Well, what makes it even worse, David, is that we're seeing a lot of those guys run right up next to the wall, so when they do get loose, there's no time. There's no time to be able to make an adjustment there. They just, it's high speeds, and yeah, there's just not a lot you can really do to avoid it, unfortunately, except for just not getting loose and not going over that threshold where it gets it to that point. But it's a hard threshold to be met, and these drivers are going to have a tough time of it for the rest of the night. We are already down to 39 cars, so we are already got 4 drivers out of the race here. Ryan Scholl didn't start, but still hasn't been back just yet. But 4 cars out of the race, 39 still left on racetrack as the pace car lights are off. Scott Crump is going to be our leader here to start this restart, and he's going to pick the bottom this time.
Yeah, and hey, how about 6th place right there, Ethan Stanley? He's all the way up 12 spots early on in this one. Garrison Hogan's up to 15th from his back starting spot, and Vincent Isabella's up to 18th. Those 3 guys have moved through the field really quickly early in this race. And Stanley's already up in that preferred outside groove on this restart, and he's going to have the timing because teammate Scott Crump's going to fire and probably tell him when to go with teammate Tyler Fode right behind Scott Crump there.
You mean they're gonna try to choreograph this to their benefit? No way.
Always work together with your teammates here, and especially when you're able to keep those rows together. That's definitely what Lake Norman wants to do. We see it with Pro Edge. We see it with every single team here in the Elite Series.
Well, we're gonna have Scott Crump leading us back to green. He was very confident in the podcast on Thursday night, saying that he was definitely gonna go out to try to win this race, and so far is proving himself right, being the strongest car in the early run here. And just as we stated, look at both of those Lake Norman drivers able to get out to the front there. Now Tyler Fode's going to be running in second. See if he can be able to track down his teammate here as they all come out of turn 2. Ooh, a couple of them real close to that wall as it gets exciting here. I think we're 3 wide back there.
Certainly we are. And
oh boy.
it's Tate Lytle, around Tate Lytle, Hunter Smith, then Sonny D, Andrew Rucker. That's where the biggest gaggle of cars is. Everybody keeping it clean for now. Tate definitely running that bottom lane, trying to conserve those tires. You see it with Ethan Burrell as well. The problem is those guys are losing a lot of track position, making these more conservative laps early in the run. You might have to run a little bit harder early in the run, you know, with this next gen car to keep that track position. It's going to make it tougher and tougher to pass as we go through the night.
I would just say, just give each other room, because I am watching these cars and they are wiggling coming out of the turn, and you just gotta hope that the guy beside you doesn't accidentally get too far loose and take you out along with you. But
Oh, speaking of,
there it is.
That car in the wall right there. I believe that was right with Tate Lytle. That was the two that we saw 3Y racing really hard. And oh boy, Hunter Smith hard into the outside wall. At least they're trying a different part of the track to wreck at.
Racing's graphics fixed the 54 car. I'm personally wondering
nice
whether the damage might be a little less severe, but let's see what happens here down the back straightaway. That's a funny spot to wreck. Was there some echo there? There might have been.
Maybe hard racing.
You know, we'll see. We'll take a look at a different angle here. I'm sure.
We're hoping it's not just
here's some Robert Hill's camera.
This is a good view. Oh, he just kind of, yeah.
There might be a little bit of netcode.
He kind of, I don't know. That was pretty close. I mean, we might need to get a little closer because
we've seen some aggression from Mr. Lytle this season.
No.
Yeah.
That's not netcode.
There's not enough room given there to the car on the top, I believe. So that safety barrier pops out. You do need a little bit of space to drop the car down.
You can't run right up against the wall because, like you just said, there is a safety barrier that sticks out just a little bit. If you're up against the wall, you will touch it, and you will go into the wall in turns 3 and 4. Probably, we'll see what race control does here, but that's a little tight for lap 22, in my opinion.
We talked about it, right? And it's somewhere some of these drivers are going to be trying to race the racetrack. Some of these drivers are going to be trying to race each other. And you mentioned being worried that someone around you is going to spin out. Well, the alternate is being so worried that you're going to be the one to spin out that you don't notice the other drivers close to you as well. And I don't think Hunter Smith's necessarily guilty of anything there, right? He's trying to turn off the safety barrier into the wall, but with so many drivers close by, making those close proximities, it's going to be.
Do an onboard with maybe Robert Hill, or not Robert Hill. I'm sorry, with Smith there and see. No, Hunter Smith.
Sure
I like to
thing,
see
fellas. Just 1 second, please. I have to fix a small issue. Who did you want to see again?
Can we do an onboard with Hunter Smith? I want to see how close he was to that safety barrier when they were coming up on it. Because I feel like it was right about at that time.
I'm trying to find his vehicle. What position
he should
is
be
he
in the back at this point. I think he's 37th, getting damage fixed.
Hunter Smith, there he is. All right, you guys want an onboard? I'll give you guys an onboard.
If you don't mind.
Let's go. Come on, Shaq with the onboard camera.
This is going to give us a good view, Dave.
You can't even see him.
Oh,
yeah.
It wasn't even there yet. Yeah. They're still going down the straightaway. Yeah,
I don't think the car turned any.
No. because he wasn't even turning at that point.
So Hunter Smith slides back up and catches the 3 car. Vincent Isabella texts him. He's got 3 minutes of damage.
Oh man, that didn't even look like Vincent got hit that hard too.
Exactly. So Vincent also not very happy with Tate Lytle. After this one, that makes 2 drivers
they do
already
call
angry
him
with
Bad Man Tate Lytle for a reason, right?
Certainly made. He's been a little more aggressive, I think, this season than I've ever seen.
Mr. Robert Hill, if you are listening to the broadcast, we would love to hear your take as to what happened.
Yeah, if any of the drivers want to talk about it, they are more than happy to go into the infield care center to be able to come up into it. Yeah, absolutely.
There he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen. No, hold on. Let's get the restart, then we'll bring in Robert.
Let's get the restart.
All right, here, because we're going to be going back to green. Scott Crump is going to be on the bottom. Tyler Fode now to his outside. Scott Crump once again gets a really good restart there. We have a huge checkup on the outside lane there. That checked up quite a few cars. As
Jonathan
Scott
Cutlip.
Crump.
Get going. 5-car Cutlip.
And no, he did not. That is for sure. Scott Crump that sure got going. He got himself out to quite a big lead here as Tyler Fode is going to be able to get in the second. And now here comes another driver we haven't talked much about. That's David Tooker getting up into that 3rd position, trying to see if he can be able to try to have a good race here. Maybe try to get a circle track win as well as his road course win so far this season.
Tooker's been quiet, but he's been pretty strong, right? He led some laps late last week in the Coke 600. But definitely a contender. And as Justin Wadsworth slides up in front of Stanley's going to cut to the bottom of the racetrack, try to take over that 4th position. 4 Lake Norman cars up here in the top 6. And Stanley and Gable have come from way back
they
to get up
have
into
been
the top 6.
Super aggressive. They are making moves and making it happen right now on track. Like you said, I mean, big movers, and they're just making passes wherever they can get them right now.
All right, let's see if we can bring up Robert Hill from the Infield Care Center.
Then let's bring up Robert Hill. I think now's the time. We'll sort it out a little bit. Try it. Robert, David in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Robert, how's your neck feeling after that one?
It was a rough hit, man. I wasn't expecting to hit the wall that hard. I think it was all the G's possibly available and more.
Yeah, did you take some wall home with you?
Yeah, it's still lodged inside the car itself. It was definitely one of the harder hits I've ever taken at this racetrack. That's for sure.
Is that the most coffee beans have ever been grounded on the hood?
Yeah, it was an easy way to grind up the coffee beans there on the Roasted Gems Toyota Camry. I had to check the branding there on the front of it, not used to Toyota still. But it's just on par for the way our season's gone. It's been terrible. We rarely finish inside the top 30 so far this year, and nothing Hanshaw did that was malicious or anything like that. So it just sucks, but it is what it is.
Robert, any additional shout-outs besides your sponsor here before we send you off to put some ice on that neck?
Yeah, I got to shout out the boys at Abbott Motorsports, Leighton, Andrew, Corey, Will, Brent, everyone else that hangs out over there. Got to shout out Drive Smart Warranty. We're going to give them a call, see if they can help us replace some parts on this car, and we'll be back for Daytona. Hopefully we can defend our victory there from last season.
One last question. What are these drivers having to deal with out on track right now? Because it looks like it's a handful.
The steering wheel feels really weird here tonight. No matter what you run for the pinion, it just kind of feels like dead weight in your hand. So it's really tough to get around the racetrack. You're able to charge the corners really hard, but you just have to hope the steering wheel reacts to you. So it's not the easiest race. I've seen guys get in the wall already, seen guys wreck each other, and we'll see how the rest of this one goes, but I would expect quite a few cautions still to come.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for that and giving us your take, and hopefully they fill you up with some IVs to make you feel a little bit better.
Sounds good. Hopefully it's flavored nice and coffee tasted. Yeah, let's do it. Good luck, guys.
That's Robert Hill. Appreciate him giving his take, and that's a lot of information I didn't know. I didn't know how bad the handling was on these cars. They from what he's saying, that they don't have any feeling on the steering wheel. And oh man, I thought Robert Smith, he's going a lap down right now. I thought he was gonna, Hunter Smith, I'm sorry, Hunter Smith was gonna get his revenge there on Tate Lytle. He's going like 5 miles per hour on the racetrack. I thought he was tracking him down there back in the field.
Yeah, and there's a battle for the lead on top of that. Tyler Fode's gone after teammates Scott Crump and Ethan Stanley while we were interviewing with Robert, has bypassed David Tooker for third. And Lake Norman's trying to make it at 1, 2, 3, 4 early in this race. Ryan Gable has gotten around Justin Wadsworth, and he is stalking David Tooker for that 4th spot. I mean, judging by the way these cars have rocketed to the front, I think Gable will be the owner of that 4th spot pretty soon.
Yeah, move over Hendrick at Martinsville. Here comes a 1, 2, 3, 4 at the Rock for Lake Norman. Impressive run by this team. They're normally really good. I don't know if we've ever seen all 4 of them this good.
It's one race at Martinsville. They had all the top 4, and then Ryan Gable and Damian Leininger wrecked each other. And then it went downhill from there. I think Tyler Ford still won that race. But they had all 4 in the front for a while.
Well, we know Chad messed up the setup to make them have road courses for Chevys in qualifying. I wonder if he gave them more horsepower for the race too. Because right now it's looking very fast for these Chevys out front, and now we're finally seeing some pressure being put on Scott Crump at the front of the field here.
And then there's a gaggle back here about it's Josh Clark at 21st position here is where this is. Got Brent Jones in here, Chris Wright's in here, Jesse Racimus in this group. So, and a couple of these chase guys, right? I mean, Seth Thrall is right at the doorstep of the chase. Josh Clark's not too far off.
Oh no!
Oh, we got Clark going around.
Jesse
Racimus. Oh no, Clark. Oh boy.
Oh.
And we saw Chris Wright involved in that too. Nowhere to go. Oh boy. You cursed them all.
Okay. Chris's damage is okay, but he came down the track and destroyed that monster car. Jesse Racimus.
Jesse, please.
Keep trying to
get out
tell
of that car. Get out of that car, Jesse. He has had, I think, the worst season out of anybody.
Him and Chris Wright, right? Those 2 guys have been the worst hard luck drivers this season in terms of getting involved in someone else's.
The 99. Oh boy, there's so many hard hits from this. Oh, what happened to 14?
Pit stops. We'll take a look at the replays afterwards.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the replays. Live pit stops are going on right now. We'll get a better look as to what happened.
I want to go on board with Brent Jones this wreck, and maybe Jordan Owens, maybe Seth Rollins too.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at maybe
Goodman stays
what
out.
happened to the 14 and the 99 there too.
It's going to have that big advantage coming off pit road here. That's 6 car.
Hanshaw stays out as
I
well.
was about to say, he's going to be able to make a lot of positions up right now. They're all coming off pit road. Whoa, Scott Crump. I don't think that's legal.
The pit boxes, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what our general ruling is when it comes to pit boxes, because he kind of went through all of them.
3 out is the rule. He pitted in 6th. And he don't think he left the pit boxes all the way off a pit road there. Oh, Scott, please tell me you didn't get a penalty from this, because I picked you to win the race, Scott. Oh, no.
Seen it before with Scott Crump, too. It's at Phoenix, remember? He sped on pit road from the lead.
He needs to have a race that doesn't have anything to do with pits, because I do think he's going to probably get some kind of penalty from that. That's because he made up some spots there. We will have to take a look at pit road and see again. But here's the 14. We got a lot to look at.
14 car gassed it up. Casey gassed it up after getting through the wreck and wadded it.
Oh, no.
Oh, I would laugh, but I've done it. Right?
I did.
Definitely done it before. I can feel for it.
We're going to take one final look here, and then we're going to take a look at the pit stop with Scott Crump there and see what happened with him.
Josh Robin involved in his 3rd wreck in 2 races.
Yeah.
and Seth Rawls, Jordan Owens all cut to the inside. They're going to miss it. Then Racimus gets shot down into Hosak.
Hard hit.
That's the one that gets wrecked. And then I think who is this black car behind? Is that the 13?
That's
Might
Personette
be
in
the
the
one
18.
No, the black car that
That's
shot through on the
Stouffer.
bottom that was behind Hosak. I think it's Stouffer. Yep. It's the one.
You guys
I
want
think
on
we'd
board
be
of him?
on board with. Yeah, that'd be the one. I believe.
All right, we got one to green, but we still got time.
I don't see so far any penalty going to Scott Crump, which is very shocking, to be honest.
We have race control, right?
You have race control. Control can always extend that yellow if they need to, make that call, but
Let's go ahead and take a look real quickly. We'll have a little bit of time. Do we have time to take a look, Carlos?
Oof, boy, that's
Two screen it.
I may have to two screen it. You know what? Yeah, that's. I'll pull up that replay on the second screen.
Perfect. That'll work for us, as they are talking about it on track. Race control is taking a look at it now.
Crump, right? Or who are we looking at?
They're actually going to extend. They're going to extend the caution here just to make sure. This control is going to take a look at Scott Crump here, so they are going to extend the caution period one lap.
I think that's the right call. You know, there's one more yellow.
I do
okay.
too.
Well, and then we'll be able to take a look on broadcast while race control's looking into it. And I do hope it's not a penalty for Scott Crump. Right?
I don't, because I picked him to win the race, to be honest with you. So I do not want that to happen with Scott.
Oh boy! You guys ready?
Yeah.
Send it.
So this is
started
what Control is looking at right now. Yeah. And he was going to lose the lead.
Oh, he spun his tires, but then he didn't make an effort to come back out. He did not make an effort though to come back out.
No. And he was going to lose the lead to Tyler Fody, it looked like, to be honest. They're going to extend it one more time around, too, because I think they are going to be probably make a decision here.
That's tough.
That's a hard decision. I get it. He's loose coming out of the pit, but...
Listen, it's early. It's early. We're not even a quarter of the way with the race done.
It wouldn't matter. I would say it wouldn't matter if it was a straight pit road. But we're talking about a curved pit road where there is an advantage for taking those bottom pits versus taking that outside lane, because unlike in real life where it's timed zone by zone, and iRacing it's just by miles per hour in the car, so there is an advantage majorly for driving through pit boxes than it is for obviously not.
Yeah, and Gerald, I'll push back that I don't think necessarily the choice for Scott was drive through the pit boxes or drive on the track. I think it was drive through the pit boxes or spin into the inside wall. He chose to make the concerted effort to make it out of pit road.
I guess something's happening.
It was like one pit stall away, so looks like race controls deemed it close. Don't do that again, Scott. I think that might be the right move.
I would agree. I'm fine with a warning, a strict warning. I think now everyone's been scared straight not to do it, because I think it's well known now. Pace car lights are off. Scott Crump's going to lead us back to green here on the inside lane, but now he's got a lot of teammates right behind him, and he knows that they're all as fast as he is. But right there, gets out to a really good start, and now it's going to be side by side for second place.
Cody and Ethan Stanley running second and third. Now David Tucker gets into that Lake Norman top four and takes it over from Ryan Gable, and then Wadsworth the pole sitter and Nick Massey the outside pole sitter going to follow in line behind, and then there's Gavin outside wall Hibbs right there as well. We haven't seen him hit it yet. He's doing a good job up there in 8.
That's pretty funny. Scott Crump equals Denny Hamlin. Maybe not. I think Denny Hamlin's was a little bit more outrageous than what we saw there. But yeah, Scott Crump out front there, side by side. David Tucker, he's going to have that preferred line. The outside seems to be very fast on these restarts, able to get that third position over Ethan Stanley there. So now our looks like top 8 drivers all single filed out here.
And Hibbs going after 7th round Nick Massey. They're battling back here as well. That's Indelicato in the 10. Rucker, Sonny D, Chad Frankenfield, Johnny Thomas. Jones going after Tate Lytle.
Yeah, Tate Lytle's getting attacked right now. Looks like Brent Jones having a really good race so far. Found his speed here.
He's up +10 on the day right now, and he's running that top.
Oh!
Partner into the wall, but that's not going to cause a caution. As long as he doesn't spin it back.
Oh!
Getting close
with
to.
With the classic misstep of not getting the yellow. And that is one of our drivers close to the chase cut line. That's good news for Seth Rawls, good news for Fortner's teammate Ryan Schultz, who is out of this race already. Oh, another sideways one. It's Gable.
Oh boy. These guys are pushing it over the edge, and they got to be careful. That almost ended one of the Lake Norman drivers right there. Oh, Nick Massey trying to find a way around him quickly.
Nick definitely trying to jump back into the top 5. I think Nick's maybe saved his tires a little bit early in this run, but Gable burned that right rear, made it angry. It'd be tougher for him to get going for this next couple of laps. Over third also, Stanley got back to David Tooker. He's going after him hard as well. And here's Matthew Weeks, the pole sitter, up +13 from that 21st starting spot. He's looked pretty strong early in this one, and that's kind of the par for the course of the season for Matthew Weeks.
Did you call him the pole sitter?
He started very deep and able to get back up into a really good spot here. That's incredible work by Matthew Weeks. Just being consistent and not even being talked about and able to work his way up there. So that's how you win championships, and that's how you retain that point lead is exactly what Matthew Weeks is doing and just staying out of trouble.
And now he's got track position inside the top 10. Much less likely to get caught up in somebody else's mess once you get up closer to the front of the field. Garrison Hogan's kind of following him through 10th place, right? He's up +14 spots from 24th starting spot. So a couple of guys we noted in that starting lineup that started in the back, they've worked their way forward really well early in this one. Guys falling back that they've taken advantage of right behind, like Ethan Burrell and Jonathan Cutler.
Yeah, they probably heard their teammate there, David Tooker, pleading for help to battle these Lake Norman cars. Ethan Stanley all over the back of him right now, trying to get around him. He's really the dividing factor of these cars. Once again, Ethan Stanley going to try to make a run at David Tooker for that third position underneath him going into the turn, and still not able to get it to work. As again, David Tooker able to hold off. So he's pleading on his Pro Edge teammates to come up there and kind of help battle these Lake Norman cars, so that way he doesn't have to sit there and be the wall to block all of the domination from Lake Norman right now.
They've certainly got a stranglehold on the top 4, and Tooker doing his best. We've certainly seen it. Lake Norman's had just Tyler Fody up there against 4 Pro Edge guys a number of times before in this league. It's a very common battle that we've seen over the last several years of this elite racing league, and this time Lake Norman's got the edge right now. Scott Crump's got this race lead, avoided the penalty, and we've seen really good performances from him at these mile-long tracks. And I think back to Phoenix, he led like 100-something laps in a row to start the race. Here he drove straight to the front. He's been out front the whole race, and he's just leading teammate and last week's winner Tyler Fody by about a tenth of a second. They're running kind of similar lap times.
Absolutely. Again, going back to what I said, he's just kind of himself out front, able to dictate the pace, and it's to his advantage right now as he leads Tyler Fody. And both of those are starting to get away from Ethan Stanley, who just now got around David Tooker. So that does put Lake Norman back up in 1, 2, 3. So David Tooker now falling back, now has to try to get a distance away from that battle that's happening for 4th place right behind him.
Matthew Weeks also on the attack, going after pole sitter Justin Wadsworth. Make it stick there on the bottom of the racetrack, and that's kind of the place we've seen these guys. Did Wadsworth get the wall right there? Didn't hurt him down the straightaway. He seemed okay.
Might have. He's got a little front bumper damage too from that incident happened at the beginning of the race and everything. That might be hurting him just a little bit here too as well, as he's not nearly as strong as leading 1, 2, 3, but hoping that it doesn't affect him enough to keep him from getting back up there. As gotta love this racetrack with all the multi-groove. Probably one of the best examples of multi-groove racing that we've seen this season in the Cup car, as they're running from bottom to top all over the racetrack right now.
Keep keep your eye on some of these guys where they're running, right? Ryan Gable's been a top feeder pretty much this whole season. We've seen that 0-1 car feasting around the outside wall.
Wadsworth, oh boy. I'm sorry, he nearly died. That was bad.
Oh, yeah.
He was pointing into the inside wall.
And then I was going to mention this guy. He's going around Wadsworth right now. Garrison Hogan's been on the bottom of the racetrack, wrapping the yellow line the whole way, and he's going 3 wide here, entering turn 1.
He had to back off there. He wasn't going to make it.
He did. Gavin was going to find the outside wall anyways.
Boy, he almost got hooked by Wadsworth. He almost came up right in front of him. I got to give a shout out to Gavin Hibbs there in the 95. We haven't seen him hit the wall yet.
You know, I did
That's
say that
first.
about 20 laps ago.
Yeah.
I said exactly that. He still hasn't hit the wall, though.
He deserves shout outs.
20 laps now, he still hasn't hit the wall. Yeah.
Great.
By the way, fellas, do want to apologize. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the main telemetry, but we got our redundant ticker here, serving its purpose.
With redundant ticker?
Wait, I have 2 backup tickers just in case my main one fails.
Oh, tickers. I thought you said ticker. I was like,
tickers.
What do you mean we have 2 tickers?
I'm trying to troubleshoot the issue, unfortunately, guys. I'm not sure what's going on.
That's fine.
Good.
Gives us a taste of something different halfway through. One battle I do want to showcase is Chad Frankenfield versus Andrew Rucker. Oh, man.
You set it and sent Rucker directly into the fence. He felt the jinx and just drove it straight to the wall.
I thought he was going to hook Chad Frankenfield right there, to be honest. We need to keep an eye on both of those drivers. It's well known those 2 drivers will not give either one of them either one of themselves any room compared to the other. They're going to race hard all the way through, as there's a lot of good side-by-side battles going on.
This track doing its thing as Ethan Stanley has run down his teammates. He's gone around Tyler Fode. He's hunting Scott Crump for the race lead, but Fode's fighting back on the outsides. Now it's a battle for second between Stanley and Tyler Fode, last week's winner.
Man, David Tooker's fallen right now. David Tooker's having some struggling issues here. Is now Ryan Gable able to get back up into that 4th position. So that puts Lake Norman 1, 2, 3, 4 once again at the front of the field here as we reach lap 67. So far, impressive. I mean, we've seen them constantly be able to get back up to, even with newer drivers up there, maybe some stronger other drivers, but here we do have a battle for the lead finally. Fode able to get underneath Scott Crump. Not able to make it work.
Fast.
No.
Held him off, and I think that's Scott doing what you mentioned, holding his pace, not willing to push that car any more than he has to while he has this race lead. And his teammates are certainly going to fight him for it. This is not an organization over at Lake Norman that lies down for their teammates. They'll help each other on the restart to get out to a spot like this where they can battle it out amongst themselves. But oh well.
Scott Crump in the wall hard, spins it out into the inside wall. Or not, well, I didn't hit the inside wall, but I think he might have gotten hooked by his teammate. No.
Yeah, I think he got loose on corner exit. Fode was so close behind.
Actually, I don't think Fode ever touched him.
Well, let's find out.
Loose. I don't know if he overcorrected or what. I think he got loose, and then that's where he checked, and Fode got into him. But such an unfortunate break for Scott Crump, who has led another race. That car was loose on corner exit before the 40 ever touched him.
Yeah, never. He just overcorrected it on again where we've seen it happen so many times, and that's going to be that's a lot of damage. He's going to have quite a bit of damage from that.
That is brutal luck for a guy who's led a lot of laps this season. It's Scott Crump. He's been out the front of the field a ton of races. Homestead comes to mind, Phoenix comes to mind, this race comes to mind, and just no luck in terms of finishing these races off at the front of the field where he's been running.
David, yet again, I have failed to pick the winner. My own podcast. I thought I had it wrapped up with good picking Scott Crump. I'm like, I'm finally going to get a win for my podcast. I have yet to pick a winner this season. I am having a rough time of it. Oh, boy.
It's funny, right? Because some of these guys are going to need to start handing over a little cash for you during the podcast to pick, their rivals.
Yeah. I'll keep them from winning. I'll be honest with you. I'm having a bad season picking people.
Gable just lost about 6 spots on pit road. 0-1 car. And that is certainly going to shake up the running order, I believe. It'll be Tyler Fody and then Ethan Stanley coming off the pit road. But they've lost 2 of their wingmen of the Lake Norman Motorsports group that was up there running with them. Will now be David Tooker and Matthew Weeks, the Pro Edge duo, running 3rd and 4th. Then it'll be Nick Massey, Ethan Morrell, Gavin Hibbs, Garrison Hogan, Jonathan Cutlip, and then Ryan Gable to finish out the top 10.
Well, that leaves us with 37 cars on the lead lap, but we're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break here. We'll be back to see the green flag. First, we're going to have a word from our sponsors.
Okay, we're playing commercials.
This has been an interesting race so far.
It has
Racing
been.
isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
No.
And we're back to go green flag here again, as Tyler Fody's going to be starting on the bottom now. First time Tyler Fody's going to be leading the race here after watching his teammate spin out. He's going to have his teammate now to the outside in the blue egg, number 92 for Ethan Stanley. Green flag back out. David Tooker had a really good restart there. He might be able to take over that second spot. Oh, maybe he's going to get close here. Coming out of turn number 2. Oh, boy, we almost had another Lake Norman car have a problem out of turn 2.
You've got to be really careful with your steering wheel on corner exit in turn 2. We heard Robert talk about the feel of that steering wheel, and the more cautious these drivers have to take it on that corner exit in turn 2. It's really clear that that thing is presenting an issue, and if you get lackadaisical whatsoever, even from the race lead, you are not safe and can spin out. You got to be really aware for all the remaining 125 circuits around, especially in that turn 2.
I fixed it.
Absolutely. Oh, go ahead, Carlos.
I fixed it.
Oh, you fixed it. Oh, you did. Look at that. That looks beautiful again.
The scary part, I don't know what I did.
Well, Tyler Fody is doing exactly what he did at Charlotte, get back out into the lead and leading more laps here. He's not going to lead as many laps as he did at Charlotte, because that was an impressive amount. We don't even have that many laps to be able to do that here. That's just how dominant he was at the 600. But he is starting to get some challengers. David Tooker, who we've seen be very good on the short run, not so well on the long run, right up to his back bumper. So if we get a late race caution, do look at that 19 as a contender for this win here.
Yeah, I think David Tooker's definitely got some speed in this 19 car. Like you mentioned, that the speed wears off pretty quickly. But David Tooker's a guy who can make adjustments, right? He can make adjustments to his driving style. He's certainly, capable enough to do that. He's got, Matthew Weeks, who's one of the premier tire savers in the league, his voice chat telling him, hey, maybe one of these things you can do is back it off a little more, right? Let that car float into the corner a little better. You'll keep from wearing that right front over. But at this point, we've had a lot of cautions, right? 5 cautions early in this race in the first 79 laps, that trend is probably going to continue, especially with the way this car is handling. So pushing early in the run, probably not a bad idea, and that's what David Tooker's pulling right now. I think Gavin has just got the wall. 79 laps.
It took that long, huh?
That was it.
That's his best he's done so far this season, I would have to say. Well, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors here. Thank you to Belly Up Sports, the internet sports bar, the sports community, via podcasts, forums, articles on topics ranging from nearly every sport. Not usually sports site. Check them out on X or at bellyupsports.com. And of course, you can be able to see our podcast, the Simply Racing Show podcast, on Thursday nights every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Where we do a review of the race, kind of look at some more interesting facts that maybe we don't have time to be able to do that for in the race here. Also, to thank you to Blue Egg Marketing, the Department for Small Businesses, Small Business Owners. Blue Egg Marketing is your biggest fan. We help business punch above their weight class. I actually saw them in the YouTube chat. So, hey, Blue Egg, thank you for joining us for tonight. You got one of your drivers up there trying to get it done here. Not doing too bad for Blue Egg running up front there. So we may have a shot to be able to win this race here tonight. Worldwide Technology Raceway. The Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsports racing facility in Madison, Illinois. It's just east of St. Louis, Missouri. It features a 1.25-mile racetrack that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NTT IndyCar Series. It also has a 2-mile infield road course used by the Trans Am, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America. They have a lot of other racing events there, Carplex as well. Great racing facility. I'd love to see some Trans Am race there in the future. We got some action going on track. I think.
Saved by Andrew Hardcastle. Yep,
Yeah.
Hardcastle got sideways, saved it, did some off-road.
The replay? Okay, that's
Yeah.
the replay.
Yep.
Okay, I was about to say, did he do it again? Sorry, I was reading.
Battle for the lead. The Blue Egg car going after the lead.
He has got some strong runs here.
Stanley's been really quick in this race, and it's been quick all season long, but he's had the kind of luck that Mark Martin had in that 2001 season where some speed, but not a lot of results. And Stanley's results have been fine, I think, overall, but we've seen this car involved in a lot of incidents. Here he comes for the race lead, though, around teammate Tyler Fody. They're battling for it here. Now Fody's going to hold him up with that preferred outside lane.
As long as he doesn't pit under caution, coming to take the checkered like Mark Martin did at Bristol. He hasn't gotten to that point yet, but very good run for Ethan Stanley. Hasn't yet gotten a road course win, which is probably the biggest surprise for all of us here because he's known well for his road course prowess. But maybe Rockingham is an indicator of maybe some road course talent as well. Because also you got David Tooker, a road course winner, running in third, and Ryan Gable in seventh. Oh no, our points leader.
Big hit. I don't know if that's going to do any damage to the right side of the race car.
Yeah.
I want to throw out some guys who are having really good runs right now.
Why are you throwing them out?
Well, I want to throw the names out. We got to cover them, get them some TV time on the screen. Johnny Thomas on the screen, running P13. We talked about him a lot last week. He was the car that stayed out the longest for the entire season. He is attacking Jonathan Cutlip for P12. Johnny's had a really good year. He's currently in the chase. So a good result here will make him a lot more comfortable next week at Daytona. And Johnny is obviously one of those guys we like to cover. He runs it clean. He's a guy who races the racetrack, and a racetrack like Rockingham is always going to be up the wheelhouse with Johnny Thomas. And then the other guy who's doing a really good run right behind him is Brent Jones. P16. He's ahead of T. Lytle on speed right now. Great run from Brent. I always love to see Brent run well. This little 89 car's got some horses under it right now. He's chased down Nick and Delicato. That's a good little car right there in the 10 car. So Brent's having an awesome run early in this one. Hopefully it sustains. He's up 13 spots from the start of the race. For whatever reason, he's got the horses tonight.
Well, if you want him to have a good run, you probably shouldn't have talked about him. that's how our luck has been tonight. We've been calling him out as they've happened, but I do feel like we have a green flag run in play here. I think it's starting to set up for that. A lot of space being made between drivers, and I think we have a feel for a long green flag run, hopefully. So we'll see how these cars handle on the long tire strategy here.
Lake Norman cars running a tandem draft, as it were. Ethan Stanley has been just attached to the rear bumper of Tyler Fode for the better part of the last 5 or 10 laps. Cannot get around that 40 car, and a lot like Charlotte last week. And as they navigate lap traffic, that's pulling David Tooker closer.
Oh, he's going to throw it in there. He's got David Tooker right behind him, so very strong run between all of these drivers up front here. Top 6 separated by 1 second, so that's incredible here for this long of a run, as that Blue Egg car is still trying to figure out a way around that 40 car. And right on the back bumper, wow, you can see right there how difficult this racetrack is right now.
Stanley doing everything in his power to go after Tyler Fode. He just hasn't been able to get around his teammate. Fode's been able to hold that top lane, not allow any of these guys to go on by. Matthew Weeks is right here, too. He's only half a second back. He's got to be right on the back bumper of Teammate David Tooker.
Now, these drivers are getting full use of this track tonight. They are not wasting a penny of it. They are using every bit of that asphalt from bottom to top. There is nowhere that these cars are not driving on the track right now. So needless to say, it is incredible action here at the Rockingham Speedway as drivers are up high. Oh,
Caution, caution, caution!
A car around.
Sonny D.
Sonny D again.
Oh, not Sonny D. That will ruin Gerald's hope for that green flag run,
So
unfortunately.
hopeful. I should have realized Rucker was still out there.
That'd have been Rucker's
What
fault.
happened?
Oh!
No, it was. He got loose there. Cutlip got into him there once he got loose. That was not Cutlip's fault because there was nowhere to go.
We've seen it. We've seen it already in this race. That's the first time it's happened 3, though. That 64 car is sideways sliding down the racetrack to the path of the 5 car. Harmless spin ultimately, but it will send Andrew Rucker to the back.
Yeah, luckily no one really, there's not any hard contact there. I don't think it's going to damage anybody, really.
Rucker and Chad rolled up Cutlip and Delicato a little bit after the tires had kicked in. You saw Delicato had gotten around Johnny Thomas. That was
The pit stops?
cars moving to the front, and here comes Garrison Hogan and Nick Massey. They're staying out.
Yeah, this is going to be a split decision because they only have 3 sets of tires.
Left.
These drivers are coming down to get their 3rd set. I was wondering if tire strategy was going to come into play at any point in this race, and we're seeing it here right now. Drivers, it is a split decision down the track.
I don't think it's a tire decision, Gerald. I think it's the stage. David Tooker, Garrison Hogan, Nick Massey, they want the stage point.
That's right.
No, that's only
It's in
1
3
point.
laps.
Though. It's only 1 point.
It's only the 1 point. Well, some of those guys are definitely going to be looking for the tires. David Tooker wants the stage point.
Yeah, but it's also
Yeah.
10 bonus points if you win the stage, isn't it?
It's only 1 point. Only
Playoff
1 point. The playoff
Oh.
point. That's all we got tonight. I don't think we have stages tonight.
Ah,
It's
okay.
only
The halfway point, but
Well, do these drivers
Hogan
know
and
that?
David Tooker are race winners. Yes, they do. Garrison Hogan and David Tooker are race winners this season, though. So both of them are hunting for that bonus point for sure.
Yeah.
I think they would have stayed on the strategy with everybody else if
I think a driver
if
like
they-
Johnny
if they look at-
Thomas and Nick Indelicato, I think these guys, especially Johnny Thomas, notorious for trying to see if he can save a set of tires and everything going on
Nick
long
Massey.
runs. So.
Same for Nick Massey. Those guys,
that's
Johnny
true.
Thomas, Nick Massey, they're trying to get off Strikel with the
Well,
leaders, which I think is an interesting call.
It bit Nick Massey last week at the 600, so we never. It was a while before he got his caution, and I don't think he ever really made back up the spots that he did. But I think this is a better decision. It's with how crazy the racetrack is. There's going to be, even with those amount of laps on it, there is going to be a big speed difference, and it's going to be treacherous for these drivers to have to go through the field. Our guy furthest up with tires is going to be Tyler Fode. He's starting in the 12th position, so needless to say, yeah, it's going to be hairy for a few laps for a few of these drivers.
To handle a little bit difficult at this racetrack. We're, I think, certainly going to see some struggles on these older tires from a few of these guys that stayed out.
I've seen
It's-
so many wrecks on this on trying to get throttled down on these restarts with old tires. But we've really got to hope that these drivers are able to be very, very cautious on the throttle for getting on this restart, because I've seen a ton of wrecks from that happening here, because it's just a lack of grip at this racetrack for whatever reason on restart.
If Carlos can recall, it's been a couple seasons, but I tossed away a third place run at the Rock a few years ago on one of Carlos's broadcasts on our Thursday league. So yeah, can confirm, difficult to restart. Feels like you're restarting on ice, especially if you're going on used tires.
Can confirm. I don't even remember what I ate yesterday.
I'm sure you did.
Whoa, that sounded mean.
Yeah, I know. Carlos broadcasts a lot. Is my
okay.
my point. Yeah, he's done a lot of races. Hard for him to remember just one.
Hold your breath, folks, and these drivers are sure going to be holding theirs right now. As we're getting to the restart line, let's see how they're able to get going here to the restart line. Green flag is out.
Took her big jump.
Oh no, car in the wall back there, but he keeps going. Looks like they did a good job there. Wow.
David Tooker's going to win this stage. Definitely the intent of that strategy is to get that 19 car an extra playoff point.
Car in the inside wall.
Okay.
I don't think it
Brent Jones. It was Brent Jones.
Oh no, Brent Jones.
Hopefully it's just a save. David Tooker wins the halfway point. Carry that playoff point all the way through the playoffs. Yeah, the 89 car looks okay. Just a moment, Brent.
Oh boy, take a look
he
at
was
all
three
this.
wide.
Yeah,
we're good. We're all good. 89 cars.
Keep an eye on where Goody is and those drivers, because it is getting hairy right now. It is. Drivers zigzagging trying to get through these slower traffic here.
Tyler Fody. Tyler Fody's up at 8. Meeks is 9th. Stanley 10th. They're all passing these guys as they go.
Those Owens.
Owens into the inside wall.
5 different guys just hit the wall. There. Hinshaw got it. So did Crump. Johnny's down low, trying to let some of these guys through.
I got to give it to him. We still have yet to see a caution here, and that's quite surprising with how hazardous. Oh, Goody coming out. Oh boy, it is.
It is Tate
right now.
Fody was gonna knock Tate out of the way, I think. If Tate hadn't moved to the bottom of the racetrack there in 3 and 4. Here comes the train of the guys on fresh tires.
Yeah, they're coming quick too. They're coming real fast.
Absolutely.
David Tooker's, he's gotten out to a decent size lead right now.
It's not going to matter, is the problem. These guys are going to blow by him. The
Caution!
Oh, there.
Hardcastle.
Oh no.
You can't come take your tires yet, right? I mean, it's only been 6 laps.
It's. Oh man, that's a good question. It's a good question. If you're someone like Goody that's back there,
Goody should come take his, but
probably get his. Yeah. Oh, Hardcastle. Did a great
Brent
job keeping off the wall, but
I think Brent did just without the keeping of the car on the apron.
Well, Brent had no tires. Oh, you mean on this? Yeah, no.
Yeah. By the just unable to keep that car on the.
To be fair, I'd rather him do that than trying to correct it and coming back up the racetrack and collecting somebody. So I'd much rather have a driver decide to know his limits and lock it down. That's what he did.
We saw a lot of over pushing, I think, at restart. A lot of guys loose, bumped the wall, slid down the racetrack. That was the intensity ramping a little bit and the track biting back.
To what you said, not a lot of drivers pitted, but a few of them did. Goody and, like we said, has come down pit road and taken his tires, and not all of them. So it's now gonna be, instead of having a bunch of older tires all at the front of the field they have to deal with, now they're scattered throughout, and we have a mixture of old tires and new tires throughout the top 15. So I don't know if that makes it better or not.
Handshot, free pass.
We've also seen that. Henshaw Free Pass, but we've seen the tires cycle a lot in iRacing. We saw it at USA with Tyler Fode staying out for a really long time in the lead and never getting the tires, being able to hold off those fresh tires. There's only one cycle for race leader David Tooker and Garrison Hogan and these other guys, but I do wonder whether they'll be a little bit closer to the speed of those new tires because these older tires have had a chance to cool for a second time now.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably be closer together than what they were in the last run, but it's still going to be quite a big difference between the two.
Those guys are all hoping for a quick-ish yellow from here, maybe 10 more laps, and then they want to come get their tires and maybe not lose a ton of track position and be able to maybe stay out the next time, where they can get tires late in the race and out through the field.
Yeah, I mean, a driver like Tyler Fode, I mean, he's having to essentially do the next 100 laps with only being able to change his tires out 2 more times, while these guys can be able to still wait a little bit and maybe make it not as dramatic of a difference. So there's definitely a play here that if we haven't had more than 20 laps green flag racing so far. So, I mean, if you follow the trends, you might want to do what David Tooker's doing. And to be fair, David Tooker saw he's not got the long run pace that the Lake Norman guys. So he has to try something here. He's got to try to break them up.
Yeah, he does. And, off strategy is the way. I always advocate for doing something different. We'll see how it plays out. It's certainly got merit, right? David Tooker stayed out of the trouble. He hasn't put himself back in the pack where something could happen. And he won the stage. So good move for him. But also, that all goes for Hogan, Massey, Gavin Hibbs for now as well. These guys are able to maintain that track position. And once they lose it, I think they'll be more willing to come down pit road. But even Johnny Thomas, Nick Indelicato, Tate Lytle, they're all still right at the back end of the top 10. So they don't feel that pressure yet to come down pit road and strap that extra set of tires on.
We're going to be going back to green here once again. Pace car lights are off. They're going to be coming down, and it's going to be back over to David Tooker with Garrison Hogan to his inside. Green flag is back out. So far, everyone able to get through the gearboxes fairly well there. So far, clean.
Another good restart for David Tooker, and ultimately Tyler Fode trapped on the bottom behind Matthew Weeks. That will make it difficult for Fode to clear, and Weeks is going to get by Tyler Fode to be the first car on fresh tires.
Yeah, that's a big move there, because that is going to give him the advantage. And he has that outside lane. He's going to have to try to make quick work. He's got to be able to clear that inside lane so he can make a move on Nick Massey. He's going to be stuck right now.
Yeah, with Ethan Stanley, Ryan Gable pressuring behind. Matthew Weeks, the points leader, up here now is the first car on those fresh tires, and he drops it to the bottom of the racetrack. Let's see the power of that fresh rubber. Oh, did he get into?
Oh!
He got into.
He got into his teammate there. Somewhat teammate. Garrison Hogan spun him around. No caution. That's. Oh no. Incredible save though.
Hogan is fueled up. Is with the fueled up group, and Weeks is Pro Edge, but technical alliance, I believe. They've run together. They've been teammates before. The closing rate just too great between the 11 and the 36 right there.
Yeah, just get some. That allows Tyler Fode to get by, lead the drivers with new tires. Luckily for Garrison, he's going to be able to live to fight later on here, but he's going to lose all his track position. I said Tyler Fode, my bad. I should have said Ethan Stanley leading the charge.
Fresh tires.
Able to make quick work. Wow, fresh tires going to come up to the lead at the line. Ethan Stanley leads his first laps of the day.
The Blue Egg 92.
Oh, no, it was an exact tie. It was an exact tie at the line. I'm sorry. Ethan Stanley didn't lead that lap. It was a tie down to the 0.00000 mark between the two. Wow, I haven't seen that one before. Wow.
Oh, man.
Oh, he let that one.
Beating and banging to the line. Stanley led that time by, but
that time, yeah.
Tooker's pulling back, using that side draft to his advantage. And really close on these corner exits. Ryan Gable's right there. Thinking about peeking to the bottom for 3 wide. He'll settle and push his teammate in and try to get around David Tooker's old tires. Stanley clears from race lead.
So for the third different Lake Norman driver to lead the race. Now it's Ethan Stanley out front. Garrison Hogan trying to see if he can be the last one, the final one, the fourth driver for Lake Norman to get to the lead. He's got to get around David Tooker, who's doing a masterful job of trying to hold him up as best as possible.
Tooker's doing his best, but the old rubber just does not have as much grip. And these new tire race cars are flying by him now. Tyler Fody will be on the charge, and we're seeing some of these guys fall through the field a little bit, right? And, I think the full tire gamble it's valiant, but iRacing still got a lot of tire wear on. You can't be Joey Logano run 880 laps tire change.
Maybe at Martinsville. Well, Tyler Fody was right on the back bumper of David Tooker. He is trying to make this as easy as possible, but David Tooker is not allowing that to happen. And they're going to be side by side going through 1 and 2 here, still side by side going down the back straightaway. He's seeing both his teammates starting to leave him in the dust as he's losing time trying to battle with David Tooker. I think he's going to be able to get it this time, and will do so as the caution comes out. And that's perfect for those drivers with old tires. I think they're going to all come down pit road now.
I'm seeing maybe Scott Crump.
Oh, no.
Yeah, for sure Garrison Hogan will come down pit road after getting knocked into by Matthew Weeks.
Oh, no.
Oh. Okay,
Saved,
he'll take that.
He kept it off the inside wall.
Incredible job saving it there.
The car ends up stopped on the racetrack, and iRacing decides that warrants a yellow flag. Pushed up, coming off turn 2. That's pretty typical of that corner, and continues those woes for Scott, whose car in that right front is certainly not handling as well as it had earlier in the race.
Now you can imagine the type of words he's using in that race car right now. They're not nice ones. He's not having the race he projected that he was going to have at all go his way. And I mean, it started whenever after that pit stop where it was questionable his motive, I guess you'd say, and decision. And since that point, it's just been downhill for him. He's just had issues. There's still time for him to be able to try to get back up there. He's definitely going to be burnt up on those tires. He might be coming down to get his 4th set of tires, or maybe get more damage fixed. We'll see.
23 drivers stayed out.
So David Tooker will be back in 24th, I think, once this is all said and done. But he'll have some good company back there. Nick Massey, Gavin Hibbs, Nick Delicato, Johnny Thomas. Those guys will be back there hanging out, running, trying to get through this group that has 15, 20 laps on their tires.
Yeah, it's essentially just a swap of what it was. The drivers that had came down pit road stayed out this time around, and the ones that had stayed out have come down. So just like we saw in Charlotte, a lot of different strategy being played out to our benefit, because that allows for a lot of passing and a lot of fun for us to have to be able to keep an eye on. David Tooker's going to have probably an interesting time getting up through the field here. Going to be, like you said, starting back at the 24th position. So a lot of cars, and unfortunately for him, probably a lot of ill handling cars that he has to try to be able to work through.
Right. Yeah. There'll be some treachery, I think, going back in there in the field here. It's going to be very difficult for that whole entire group to just keep those cars clean, and that'd be, I think, the primary goal. Is keep that car clean. If you don't make the passes immediately, that's okay. Just gotta avoid any big wrecks or potential issues trying to make passes with this car that we've addressed the handling issues a number of times, but it's a handful for these guys out there right now, and that's pretty evident by the number of self-induced incidents that we've seen today.
Well, pace car lights are going to be off this time, so now it's going to be Ethan Stanley taking the bottom. He's going to have his 2 teammates going to be starting right there with him. Looks like Ryan Gable's going to be starting into 2nd. New driver up there battling, it's going to be Ethan Burrell. He's been kind of hovering around outside the top 5. Now finds himself in the top 5 to see if he can be able to try to keep his Chevy up with these other Chevys up here, and maybe try to break up this dominance from Lake Norman.
You got pole sitter Justin Wadsworth there in 5th, with Chad Frankenfield 6th, And then it's like Trey Holmes 7th. He's the first time we've talked about him all race long. Jonathan Cutlip's up there in 8th. Matthew Weeks is in 9th. He fell that far back from checking up for the Garrison Hogan incident. And then Justin Vanderpoel has entered the top 10 now. Take advantage of some of these guys, and I think he's up a number of spots tonight. So keep an eye on Justin Vanderpoel on this restart.
Give me 1 second. You go ahead and keep talking. There's something I have to review here. It's something said on the radios.
Boy.
Oh no, are we having another
And
Tuesday
Stanley's
moment?
going to get the restart, and he'll take the race lead here. Those Lake Norman teammates will follow through, hold up both lanes behind, and allow that 92 car to get away and into the clean air. Tyler Fody clears Ryan Gable, his teammate, for that 2nd spot. And Morrell and Dustin Watson will fight for 4th with Chad Frankenfield right on their bumper. Then Cutlet just in behind with Matthew Weeks and Trey Holmes. Inside the top 10, the battle behind among all of our drivers on fresh tires. David Tooker continuing to lead that group. Keep our eye on them though as we kind of monitor the front of the field here.
Oh, in the back, big wreck.
It is going to end up being Gavin Hibbs.
Oh, it's going to be multiple
Crump.
cars.
That's a bunch of the
Hey,
guys
Lytle.
who went to the back. Massey is the car who got spun.
Oh, I'm hearing Tate Lytle might have been involved in this one.
Yep. Let's take a look.
He gets punted, and then that Tate that got sent to the inside
Oh
wall. Yep.
man.
I think Johnny Thomas is the one that got into the back of Tate Lytle.
I think Scott Crump got hit from Tate Lytle, and I'm not sure.
He did, and then Johnny got Tate. That's all the cars that we were just talking about that you can't get involved in a wreck. Massey gets clipped by Gavin Hibbs, gets Chris Wright, it gets Scott Crump, it gets Tate Lytle. I think Johnny Thomas is going to have just a little bit of damage. And then, nowhere to go there, and Tate gets spun to the inside. Effectively end the 56 cars day.
That was a hard hit for a lot of those guys. I think some of them are going to be probably out from this one here. Unfortunately, some of those guys were trying to get there on points, and some of them are just having some bad races this season here. 'Cause that was a couple of Mountain Man drivers there.
Oh, it just got loose.
It got
Whoa.
loose. Nick Massey just got loose.
That's the first time we've seen that angle. Well, Vince gets into this one as well. Didn't see him make
Yeah,
contact.
I think that was 3 Mountain Man guys. Oh boy.
He had 4 because Johnny was in this too. Vince had
4,
just gotten back in the lead lap.
That was a bad lap for Mountain Man.
No, we're sorry, Robert. Robert he's still in the hospital.
I don't think Johnny.
His teammate.
Well, Johnny didn't really get too much, so I'd say 3 of them. Johnny kind of just made up some spots.
Actually, I don't know. I think Johnny got a pretty good lick.
I think Johnny hit the wall.
Let me pull that up.
Did he?
Here's
Didn't see
Johnny.
him hit the wall.
He's gonna get it when he gets into Tate right here.
Definitely hit the wall. I think he'll be okay.
Enough.
And see, they're yelling on the radio because go back to that same replay there again.
Oh,
real
brother.
quickly, if you don't mind.
No, I
I'm
don't
sorry.
mind. No, it's all right. It's all right.
Because
Who do you...
Tate and Scott are going at it. See if you can go on board with Johnny again.
With Johnny? Yeah, sure.
Johnny. Watch Tate Lytle. And Scott's kind of mad because he's like, why'd you turn me?
I mean, honestly, you really can't react that quickly.
True.
We'll go on board with the 90, or excuse me, with the 56. And here's live. Here's what he saw.
A little late, but I think that's hardly the worst incident Tate Lytle's been involved in today on behalf
To
of the
be fair, I
56
mean,
car.
he probably got the harder hit of just about anybody.
Right.
All right, back to green. Or excuse me,
Oh.
1 to green.
I have a lot to talk about in the podcast there, Gerald. I
Yeah,
think
there's
this
going to be a
one's
lot
gonna
for me to have to record.
There's been some very exciting moments in this one. I think David Tooker is the only driver who had come down pit road that last time that wasn't involved in that incident. Cleared out that entire strategy.
Yeah, it did. And that's kind of what we were alluding to. You know, a lot of drivers that are going to be having issues. Didn't know it was going to be Nick Massey, but a lot of hill handling drivers for David Tooker. He's not out of the ballpark just yet. He's still got a lot of cars he has to try to see if he can work through. As the pace car is going down, it's going to be going back to green, back to Ethan Stanley leading it here. Kind of checked up the field a little bit there, it looked like. As he's able to get going. Wow, that was a big checkup. I don't know what that was about.
Works out though. Everybody makes it to turn 2 okay.
Survived. Yes,
there. Oh,
did.
3 wide around Trey Holmes. I don't know if it was Rucker taking 3 wide.
Rucker trying to dive it underneath, trying to be aggressive.
Sonny D. I can't see Sonny D quite as good in that gray car.
I don't like it in the gray. I like it better in the orange. He won't listen to us.
I keep on saying it doesn't look like a Sunny D car. It looks like a Capri Sun car.
I thought Monster was about to get torn up again.
That's when we were talking about cars that we have been talking about. They don't change. Andrew won't change Sonny D. Jesse won't change off a Monster car.
It's the drinks. It's the drink sponsorships.
We need an Inca Cola car.
Scott Crump. Oh boy, Scott almost got wrecked again there. That was super aggressive.
This
They're
group right here
battling hard. Yeah, this is scary stuff here.
Justin Fortner's in this group. He's a guy having actually a really strong night. He's Justin Fortner trying to hold on to that, right at the edge of the chase group. He's got to score some points tonight, and he's about to run into the Nick and Delicato car.
Man, that was close. That was real close.
Oh!
Back there. Oh, it's our newest driver, 73. Oh, back up the racetrack. No! Hold the brakes.
Oh, you got to hold the brakes, brother. Richie Hearn, 73.
That was scary.
Involved.
So lucky no one got him. So
a lot of guys sideways corner exit right there too. Around Richie. Who did Richie take to the inside wall there? Couldn't tell who that was. Or Smith maybe?
Was it Smith or was it?
Can't tell who it was.
Tate Lytle again.
Oh no. Man. Was Tate Lytle.
It was Tate Lytle. Oh, Tate hit hard on the wall. Oh boy.
This has been quite the night.
For Tate Lytle, yeah.
Well, for everybody, yeah.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Look at all the cars that get loose. Goody's loose. I see there's
Violet's
like loose and on the apron.
3 cars
track. How many of them went low?
That was wild.
Hey Carlos, just put the screen back up that makes it look like it's raining, because that's kind of what it looked like coming out of that turn. It was raining on track there, because everyone got loose coming out of that turn.
We talked about racing the racetrack, right? These guys have crossed the halfway mark. We've seen alternate strategies. A few of them got a few extra spots. A few of them got fresh tires when others had old tires, and we've seen them ignore. We've seen the racetrack since then. It's been a lot of take, no give. It's a product of this type of racing. It's a product of the strategy. It has changed the way the way this race is going to play out pretty dramatically over the course of the last couple of laps. These guys have ratcheted up the intensity by a large margin when there are still 67 laps to go.
Yeah, we're not even close. It's not even to the point where they're going to be racing really hard right now.
20 laps to go. I agree, but they're dicing it up, wrecking for 25th right now.
It's just a product of a very difficult handling car, and unfortunately, differing strategies and guys that don't feel like they should be back there, maybe. And it's just not a recipe for friendly atmosphere. Needless to say,
it's worth noting, right? Nick Massey is one of the more sure-handed drivers, and he lost it on his own to create one of those wrecks.
2 weeks in a row.
That's not a normal thing, right? This was definitely an ill-handling car of a higher degree. So, maybe even than I was expecting. But we've seen a lot of guys get loose there in that turn 2 area, and when you're on brand new slick tires, you've got to be careful. Especially when you're on a strategy that requires you to make the end of the race to have any sort of impact. Using that strategy where Nick Massey was only going to benefit by being able to take tires near the end of the race, to make it to the end in order to do that, and a lot of those guys were unable to get there because of a simple mistake, but certainly one from somebody you're not expecting to make.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Carlos, are you kind of glad that you're back in the booth here? Because after watching how hard it is,
I want to be out there racing. I don't care if I'm getting wrecked on lap 1 or on, like what happened to me on Tuesday, lap 0. I want to be out there racing with these guys.
Oh, that's true. Well,
lap 0.
Yeah,
lap 0.
I got wrecked on Tuesday on a stack up before we. I mean, I was upset. I was upset. He's spaghetti. Don't get me wrong.
Wouldn't be.
Another driver
lap 0.
We saw him make a mistake, but back up there, Brent Jones is back up to 12th place. So good recovery for Brent Jones there.
Oh, don't say anything. We already talked about him, and he almost wrecked.
Well, that was you. You talked about him.
I say nothing. Green flag.
Green flag back out here. Oh, that outside did not go very well there. That kind of checked up the field back up there. As Ethan Stanley back out. Oh, Chad bumped into, go figure, Ethan Burrell. Once again, those two going at it here. Oh, boy.
At an Ethan side by side again. Looks like Ethan's going to get the better run through turn 3. That holding strong on the bottom, but I think it's going to be Ethan Burrell for 4th.
Yeah, just able to clear himself in front of Cutlip, but get back in there. But Chad being aggressive, diving it back underneath Ethan Burrell, trying to get back into that spot. Oh, we got some cars hitting the wall back there. David Tooker, oh no. The car came up in front of him.
The other one.
Yeah.
Fortner's not one who needs to be involved in anything right now. And going after Trey Holmes, that's a battle for 10. Brent Jones on the move in the 89 car.
Yeah, he's wrapping around that high side. That high side is the best way to make passes here so far. If you can be able to get on that high side, get some cars stuck down below, you can wrap it around up there and be able to make some passes. That's what Brent Jones is doing right now.
Delicato is now trying to take Rasmus 3 wide. Tooker's also in this group, but I think Delicato got through that incident okay and unscathed, so he would be the first time car on fresh tires right now.
Yeah, there's battling all through the track right now.
Gopher, but he saved it
down there.
Gopher, Stanley continuing to lead on the bottom of the racetrack here on the multi-cam. Jones
Stanley
John in and got in 10. It's fast. Yeah. Gavin Hibbs will tell you.
Brent Jones is going to have a difficult job trying to get around tonight. That's going to be his Rucker right in front of him. That's going to be a tough one for him to try to get around. But yeah, a lot of battling back here. You've seen the 70, 90 battling up front here. Ethan Burrell is trying to make a run here at Tyler Fody, trying to see if he can be able to get past him.
Sure is, right? And Ethan's, this is the first time we've seen really speed from Ethan. Remember, he fell back right at the start of the race. Wasn't really able to compete on the same level as guys like Scott Crump. Ethan's been up here in 4th. He's kind of learning, watching, doing things that Ethan Burrell does, which is improve throughout the race. This is a driver that makes those adjustments. He stays steady. He knows when he can go and when not to go, and it's about money time right about now. And when you see Ethan Burrell start moving to the front, and 2 guys behind him got loose or hit the wall. So
oh, Scott Crump. Oh, yeah. Third wreck. Kate Lytle, the 70, Rasmus.
Oh.
Vincent Isabella.
Oh, Vincent.
Huge wreck.
Is that Tooker?
They're still, what are we doing?
Clark. They're still hitting.
Clark is one of the guys close to the chase. Was that really Crump and Lytle again?
It was Crump and 70 Rasmus that started it. I think Rasmus and Crump made contact going down the straightaway, sent both of them going in opposite directions, and then they met back again.
Oh, there it is. David Tooker.
David Tooker,
nowhere to go. Vincent, Michael Hosack.
Hard hit.
Vincent had nowhere to go.
I don't know what Clark was doing. Oh my gosh.
Clark
Everyone's down pit
slow
road.
down for that.
Actually, we'll take a look at the replays after pit stops. This is a very important, possibly last set of pit stops, I believe.
I'd be surprised if. Yep, Gavin
maybe.
Hibbs is staying out. I was thinking Indelicado.
Tom is staying out. Hasek staying out.
Hasek will come back down pit road. That car's got some damage. Stanley first one into his box. Let's see who gets off pit road first here, because that might determine who's going to have the best shot to win this thing going down the stretch.
Yeah, that might be done for a few drivers from that wreck, though. Scott Crump, I think, said he's done. Oh, it's going to be a battle. Ethan Stanley's going to lose a couple of spots here.
Ryan Gable
That's a
first
lot.
off pit
Wow.
road.
Look at Gable getting up there. Again, this is not going to actually be for the lead, but it's going to be the first drivers with fresh tires coming off pit road.
Now let's take a look at those
Better
replays.
and-
Yeah, let's see exactly what happened here. I did not see what initiated. I just saw that they both made contact.
Crump just
I
kind of came
still
up
don't
forward.
know.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I
that's
think
just a
so.
hard hit.
Oh man, they just keep hitting hard. And then here comes Clark.
Dang,
Boom.
that's the big one, yeah. So, let's see what Vincent saw. He sees the car on the bottom. You know he's on the brakes right here. He chooses the top,
Oh, no,
and
just
they close
nowhere.
the hole on him.
Can we go from an upper view of Scott Crump and the 70 there getting into it? I just want to
Yeah.
see. Yeah, Clark just. Phew.
I'm gonna go back a little bit more.
Oh, that's, yeah, that's Scott Crump. Yeah, Scott came down or came up. Man,
Fortner got on the apron, dodged this wreck. That's big for the points.
that's not good for me. my podcast points.
Who
there.
was that kind
I
of
think
hit
that-
late?
That was Clark. You can do
Alright,
an
let's-
onboard with Clark here.
Yeah, let's go on board and see. Maybe something happened.
Maybe he was changing the radio station.
Oh, this is a
Well,
development.
that's probably why.
Oh, you know what?
There's still a wreck in front.
There's still a wreck in front, and
what's he doing?
he'll probably get a tally for ARCA braking. But I've been in this situation before, where you're heated based already off of previous incident, and you don't notice the wreck up ahead, because you're trying to figure out what just happened, and then it's like, oh, there's wreck in front of me.
Yeah. He's still gonna get a penalty from that, I think.
More than likely, yeah.
That's definitely.
Oh,
What happened there?
Oh, big report here. Ethan Stanley, EOL.
What for?
After too many boxes?
I'm not sure what it was. He I think he sped on pit road, maybe.
He definitely he got a black flag, and then it was cleared, but he still has to drop all those spots. Go
He's
on
still
board
gonna
with
be
Cal Henshaw.
starting at the back. Yeah, he's still gonna be starting at the back. So I mean, it's not as big. Well, it's still pretty big, because Tyler Fody and Neat Gravel are up there to 9th position. As we're about to go green here, back out front.
Oops, I misjudged where they were on the map.
No, that's all right.
Going.
Green back out. Gable or Hibbs able to get a really good start there. Wow, we're gonna be 3 wide back further there.
Miles is in the middle. This is dangerous. Oh, the 73's blocking Tyler Fody up.
Oh no, they're gonna be trying to find their way around these slower cars, but boy, it's getting dicey.
We're on the wrong battle here. There it is. Mark Rabilas trying to get out of the way. He stayed out on the older tires. That is just not gonna work, I don't think. And now it's just a stream of cars up to the top of the racetrack to try and get around some of these guys that stayed on old tires at the bottom.
Yeah, there goes
wall. Rabilas, I think.
Yeah.
Battle for the lead.
73 too.
JT, Johnny Thomas, he is driven up there to take the lead from Gavin Hibbs. He's going for it.
Keep an eye
Tyler
on
Cody's
Richard
up to
Hearn.
7th. Richard Hearn trying to hold these guys back. Bolster, Wadsworth.
He's so loose coming out of turns right now.
Delicado did just come with a bit of a break right there. Now Brent Jones is going to be stuck in behind the 73 car. front, Gable's not made that much progress. He's gotten to the back bumper of Bosak, but the tire differential, I don't think is enough right now. Oh man, I think that was Hosek got loose on the bottom of the screen, top of the screen. We're seeing so much racing.
I'm having a difficult time with words because there's so much going on right now. There's 3 wide action, people hitting the wall, people pushing and shoving each other out of the way. They're acting like it's the last 10 laps, but we still have 50 laps to go. But they are slapping the wall coming out of turn 2. I mean, I'm seeing about half the field hit the wall coming out of turn 2.
Well, finally to 4th right now, just around Hosek. He's got Fody right in tow.
Oh!
Field and Burrell.
You mentioned Hosek.
Yeah, going through the grass, goes back up. He's going to keep going.
Gonna make it through, but that will allow Ryan Gable to go hunt down Jordan Owens, who is currently running 3rd in the 16 car. So a really good run from Owens on these older tires. Johnny Thomas, though, has taken the race lead. He's pulling away from Gavin Hibbs. And, you know...
Oh, no!
Oh, Gable just killed it. Gable just hit the wall really hard.
Slammed it hard into the wall for the 01. All going up in the smoke for Lake Norman as of late.
4 of the top 4 at multiple points during this race, and 3 of them have had incidents. The only one who hasn't is last week's winner, Tyler Fody.
Yeah, right now Ethan Stanley's still trying to make his way back up, but he is heavily stuck in traffic right now back there.
There's just nowhere to go back here because there's, you know, a car on the bottom, car on the top. David Tooker didn't have a bumper back here. All kinds of traffic and difficulty to barge your way through. And it's very clearly difficult to pass. You can see the issues some of these guys are having, and it's allowing Johnny Thomas to just kind of walk away with the race lead right now. If Tyler Fody can get clear of these guys, I'm certain he'll hunt Johnny down, but it's going to take a minute for him to get by these guys, and that'll allow Johnny to open up a lead with that clean air.
I'm surprised there are some cars out here that are still running. David Tooker, Scott Crump. I can't believe Scott Crump is still on track.
Vincent's been into the wall a number of times, not by his own doing, any of them. Like, I think Hearn has had the same issue back there as well. Just a bunch of these guys. We've seen guys get sideways, get into the wall, and keep on trucking this next-gen car. It's one of the marks of it.
Yeah,
very durable.
I don't know what kind of car can survive the damage Scott Crump has put his car through here tonight. But it is impressive. And he still has some decent speed. He's holding up his teammate from passing him. So, I mean, it still has speed. I have no idea how, to be honest with you right now. It's incredible.
You would. But and you saw right there before we cut back here to this battle with David Tooker, Vincent, and Chris Wright. Tyler Fody's having trouble getting around Jordan Owens and Gavin Hibbs. He is not. It is not easy for him right now. And Ethan Burrell is right on his bumper, going to make this a battle once we get down close to the end of this race. You can see the yellow car right there behind Tyler Fody, who's cleared into 3rd. He'll have to deal with Gavin Hibbs as they're sideways off of turn 2. Top of the race, the screen. We got battles everywhere.
Everywhere. Right now, it's incredible. Ryan Gable able to get by Matthew Weeks, trying to get him on the outside. So there's still a lot of passing made up at the front here, but it is very much a lot harder to make that bottom groove work. If you can be able to get to the outside of somebody, you're able to make that pass relatively easy, but the inside just is so difficult. Oh, Gable going to give a bump to Jordan Owens. They both make contact with the outside wall. Oh boy, they're getting already to the shoving point of this race.
Did clear Ethan Burrell around Jordan Owens, and that'll allow Matthew Weeks to get by Ryan Gable. Gable's still trying to help Jordan Owens. I think Gable's going to get impatient here. He's going to try to put this car anywhere that is a gap not occupied by that 16 car right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's battles happening all over the track. Right now, it looks like Johnny Thomas still holding up very well. Hibbs still doing very well. Again, the question is this a final pit stop for these guys, or are they going to have a chance to be able to make another pit stop here before it's all over?
So yeah, I'm willing to bet, right? Johnny Thomas, if he loses the lead, he'll come down pit road, he'll strap some tires on it, see if he can't get back up here, but he's got a little bit fresher tires, the question for Johnny is definitely the damage, right? Is how much is that damage going to affect him? But you can see, even with Gavin Hibbs' damage from being involved in that wreck, he's been able to hold off Tyler Fode.
Look at that. Ethan Burrell able to get to the outside Tyler Fode. I thought he was going to make a move on Hibbs. All starting to catch back up onto Johnny Thomas here. We're going to have a four-way battle here for the lead here.
Johnny's car, I think he ran the tires off it a little bit, trying to stay out in the lead. Gavin hit the wall. Rocking over. Gavin's holding him off, man. 95 car's been able to hold steady in that second spot, not letting these guys get to the top, holding them back from the bottom of the racetrack. He's Johnny's best friend right now.
Yeah, right now that 37 is pushing that 95, trying to clear Tyler Fode. Tyler Fode is trying everything he can to get that bottom lane working. All that's done is allowed Matthew Weeks to now be able to try to get into the battle. Here goes Ethan Burrell to the bottom. Look at him throw it into turns 3 and 4. Going to be able to go side by side with Johnny Thomas. Almost made contact. They're rubbing and banging here for the lead. As they get to 45 laps to go in this race, it's going to look like Ethan Burrell is going to be the next driver to try to lead a lap.
Sideways, Ethan sideways off a 2.
Not what he wanted to do. That allowed Tyler Fode to be able to get to the outside. Oh, Johnny Thomas is doing everything he can to make it work. He's trying to make that car as wide as possible. Now it's reversed. Tyler Fode is going to be pushing the 95 on that outside lane. These drivers are trying every which way they can to make the groove work, trying to get grip to the car. It's side by side here for second place.
Cannot believe Johnny Thomas and Gavin Hibbs have been able to hold off Fode and Burrell. That is utterly shocking. They've done a fantastic job on the older tires. They're at a disadvantage. They're just using the car, running the optimal lane, doing everything in their power to hold on to this track position as much as possible. They're hoping for this thing to work out, right? If they can hold these guys off and then pit if the caution comes out, they'll be right there with them.
Yeah, because you know they're burning their stuff up right now, trying to make it work. It's become
the battle for the lead.
It's now Chad Frankenfield. Oh, Ryan Gable able to make it 3 wide to above Matthew Weeks there. It's all over the place. These drivers are trying everything. This is the best run that Ethan Burrell's had for the lead. Caution's out.
He'll have the lead. He will have the lead, I think.
No, I think Ethan Burrell had it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We just needed a break to breathe. To be honest with you,
Johnny is gonna be so upset about that. I believe it was Chris Wright that was involved.
I think
Johnny won't put a caution. I think everybody up here could pit.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny thought he was going to be able to win the race from there on. He was just trying to hold him off as much as possible.
No, he had to pit.
Now Johnny didn't have to pit, but Johnny's going to now have fresh tires and the track position of the top 5, right? And he'll actually be able to battle for this thing.
Yeah, that was Johnny Thomas' teammate there spinning out, so.
Hitting the bumps in turn 3. We talked about those a couple of times today, too.
Chris Wright is not having the season he wanted. I think he's back in like 35 points to give you an idea. Oh, split strategy.
Everybody's going down except for Ethan.
Everybody is down pit road except for Ethan Burrell.
Vincent staying out.
Will stay out with Ethan. Ethan Stanley's going to stay out.
Ethan Stanley makes a lot of sense, to be honest.
Nick Massey. Justin Fortner, man, that is a risky move.
I was holding my breath so much, I got the hiccups.
Now the question is Ethan staying out the right call?
Yes. Ethan Stanley?
Ethan Burrell.
No.
Yeah, I just realized there's 2 Ethans. My bad. Stanley, I agree with. Yeah, that makes sense. He can't do anything from back there. Burrell, he had the lead.
Yeah. It's kind of do if you do if you don't. You know.
I don't know about that one. I think a lot of drivers are going to go down pit road.
Y'all want to talk to Vincent Isabella, P2? He's willing to come up.
Yeah, bring him up. Bring him up.
If you want, I'll let you interview him.
Can you bring him up, Carlos? I'm working on a track pad.
Talent these days. Let me tell you what.
Mouse.
I can't find him.
Is he not down there?
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, you got him.
Vincent, stayed out, P2, but take us through your day real quick. Just what the heck have you run into tonight?
It's not what I've run into. It's everybody else's problems. I mean, Tate's a menace. Fortner decided to door me down the straightaway for no reason. Can't avoid anything. Finally got the car completely fixed and showed some speed there. Was catching the leaders before that yellow. I have no tires left, so that's the only reason I'm out here.
All right.
So how are you feeling for the last 30 laps, in your honest opinion?
I'm hoping for a yellow fest here, but this has been terrible.
All right, well, you want to go ahead and give us your thank yous and shout outs here for hopefully we'll get to talk to you for a top 3.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you're too hopeful of that.
Yeah. JD Designs is the one that's on board the whole season. John made my scheme. I think it's the nicest scheme in the field by far. Yeah, Mountain Man Motorsports. Hopefully me and Ethan can just pull away here.
What was your team again? Because I got to put you back into your team, and I don't.
Oh,
you want me pro edge? You want me to put you in pro?
Do good.
Pro edge.
Do good.
All right. There, I put him back into pro edge for him. So. I put him back into do good. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting start. Both of those guys are in the do good chat, the front 2 leaders. So maybe we'll see them. Yeah, maybe make a plan here. Maybe run side by side so no one can pass.
That worked out pretty good for Johnny Thomas and Gavin Hibbs.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas and Gavin Hibbs. I mean, they gotta give each other a high five because that was a perfect strategy.
Super well. Now they're 6th and 8th, right? They're going to be perfectly within striking distance of the lead here with the preferred lane. A couple of guys that do not have a race win this season on the cusp of the chase. Definite contenders for wins ultimately. So I'm on the lookout. 95-91. They ran the strategy to perfection. Let's see if it pays off for them.
I'm interested to see how Ethan Stanley does now that he's back out there. Green flag is out. A little bit of a checkup there. Oh, we got a couple cars almost going around.
Wrecked on the
they kept it going. They kept going though. Yeah, we saw it. Oh, Scott Crump almost around back there. He got hit.
Oh, it's Brent. No. Here we go. Sit down to the bottom. Trying to hold off Stanley.
Oh,
Vincent put it on the fence. So did Stanley.
They all threw it into turn 3, and then none of them were able to get grip.
Gavin went to throw it out 3 wide around Massey. He's going to have to find a way around, and he's going to have Johnny, Gable, and Fody bearing down on him. Be a difficult spot for Gavin Hibbs right here to try and navigate through this traffic. Fortner, Massey holding it side by side in front of Gavin Hibbs. We know Hibbs is willing to take it 3 wide, so is Tyler Fody, but they're going to have to figure out a way around these slower cars.
3 wide. Oh boy, Tyler Fody's now stuck in the middle.
Teammate let it back. Johnny up towards the wall. 3 wide around Johnny Thomas.
Oh boy, how they haven't wrecked it. It's unbelievable. Car into the wall in the bottom. They keep going. These drivers are throwing it in. We thought they were driving aggressive before. They are doing it now.
Matthew, Johnny side by side right behind Justin Fortner, who's trying to hold him off and keep it in the points. Weeks is going to have the preferred lane, but right now it's Gavin Hibbs up front. He's the one clear. He's battling for 3rd.
Yeah, right now Ethan Burrell's just hoping that he can get out far enough a distance here and not have to worry about it. 25 laps to go. Oh, Ethan Stanley's still trying to make it work underneath Vincent Isabella. Vincent's doing a masterful job holding him off, as now it looks like it's going to be a new driver. Gavin Hibbs trying to make the bottom work, trying to get that first win of the year.
Vincent's running the Roscoe Stain line. He's putting in the fence every time. Stanley sideways.
Oh, gosh. Ethan Stanley had the death wobbles, did what his teammate couldn't, and able to save it and keep going. Wow, that was incredible.
Stanley to the bottom, Fody to the bottom, Johnny Thomas to the bottom. The cars with fresh tires lined up on the inside.
It kind of feel like a kid with $20 at a candy store. You don't know what to keep.
There they go!
Stanley gets Fody! They're going to take him back straight away.
Massive wreck. At least 10, 15 cars involved. They're all stopped on track. Tate Lytle involved. Cutlip involved.
Ethan Motorsports goes from having 4 cars in the top 4 multiple times in this race.
To every single one of their car involved. All of their cars were involved in that wreck. Even Scott Crump in the back.
Gable's the only one I didn't see.
I believe Gable was involved. He was right there with him.
my goodness. Ethan Stanley got the, you said it, he got the death wobbles on the last lap. And,
There's so many
got
cars
sideways. Got sideways. There's Gable's
There's Gable
car.
on the top. I think he got into maybe Tate Lytle there.
Wow. Oh my goodness. By the way, Vincent Isabella is going to be third here on the race start. Gavin and Johnny made it through. They will be second and fourth. Tyler Fode with that wreck likely hands the regular season championship to Matthew Weeks, who does make it through the wreck.
Well, you can't say that yet because we've seen these cars take a massive hit and keep going.
Did Weeks get him? No, Weeks got involved. Weeks is wrecked. He's on the bottom of the racetrack here.
Yeah, he was. He was turned around.
That's all red.
Yeah.
I thought Johnny Thomas snaked through and a red car came through behind him. Thought it was him. I think it was going to be. Was it Trey Holmes? I don't think it's Trey Holmes either.
There was a bumper sale in turn 3 because there was bumpers everywhere.
The Cutlip, Tate Lytle.
Oh, there goes a bumper. There goes a bumper up there.
Where no one's involved. He had a good run today. Wild wreck here tonight. Seth Rawls,
Yeah.
he's one of the drivers looking to get into the chase. He was first car out. Seth's gonna get a big piece of this.
That was what you call inevitable.
It is.
That was gonna happen. There is no way to avoid this.
But he able to slow it down, I think. Yep.
Yeah,
but
didn't
most
hit
of that
anything.
piles in. Scott Crump hasn't found a wreck that he wasn't wanting to be a part of yet tonight. He's wanted to be in all of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might as well work for perfection.
Let's see, Justin Fortner, did he get caught up in this? It was Trey Holmes. Trey Holmes is going to get through this.
And Matthew Weeks got through it.
Oh, Weeks went down pit road. That's what happened. Weeks came down pit road.
Here's Stanley on board.
Take a look.
I got the wall.
The wall. And his teammate.
Gable's requesting his in-car.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and pull that up.
Gable's 9th now, so you know he might yet still have a chance, but behind Sonny D. Sonny D also made it through this wreck.
Really?
So did Justin Wadsworth to the inside there.
Did he make it through that wreck? Hello, contact.
Sonny D did not check up and did not pit. That's what happened there. Gable does.
I want to go on board Johnny because he made it through that wreck.
Johnny's going to restart fourth. Johnny does have a chance to win this race. Oh my goodness!
Second
He's
tire
very
with
lucky
second
that
tire.
Tyler Fode spun the other way. Yeah.
Second highest guy with freshest tires. Currently second place Gavin Hibbs.
Gavin Hibbs has a really good shot at this too. He's got the outside lane. He's going to be lined up perfectly. But again, the 3 and the 37 on the bottom are going to be in the same chat. So you know he's going to try to help his fellow old tire, staying out buddy there and try to see if they can help themselves get back out in front of the new tires. So look to see if Ethan Burrell is able to help his fellow driver.
Yeah, and Vincent said he had no tires left already. He felt very strongly that he would need more cautions, and he's already gotten one.
Yeah, he's going to need to try to see if he can get back around Hibbs here to be able to get back into that second spot. We're going to get to the restart line, and we're going to be green flag with 18 laps to go. They do time it perfectly. I do think both of them will be able to clear, and they do so, just as I stated there. Now Gavin Hibbs is going to try to see if he can work to the bottom. He's got to try to keep a very aggressive Chad Frankenfield.
Oh,
Gavin's in the water.
Oh, no.
Johnny.
Here comes Johnny. He's going to take a look to the inside. There's so many drivers that haven't won this season.
This is a prime opportunity for Johnny Thomas, Chad Frankenfield, Gavin Hibbs, and Nick Delicato to all go after the win, but it's Johnny Thomas going after the race lead.
Our top 6, other than Ethan Burrell, has not won. So the 5 drivers behind Ethan Burrell have not won this season.
Guys,
all of them want to get it. Oh boy. Sonny D back there.
Now comes Johnny with those tires. He's going to clear Ethan for the lead with 17 left to go.
There's my boy Johnny
out front here for the rock.
Johnny.
He's going to have Chad Frankenfield going to be breathing down his neck if he can get around Ethan Burrell here. Oh, hard contact. Someone hit.
That's Vincent for sure. Vincent's tires definitely letting him down here.
Yeah, now Chad Frankenfield, who hasn't won in a couple seasons in the Cup Series, desperately wants to be able to change that here. Has to get around Ethan Burrell as fast as he can.
Johnny's just driving away right now. Johnny's got to put this. Don't look in the mirror, Johnny. Just run laps, run it clean. Hit the tires a little bit. You got 15 laps to go. Chad's going to clear Burrell. So does Gavin Hibbs. There'll be 2 shift drivers coming after Chad, who gets loose off a turn 4.
It's still anybody's game here, as now Chad's going to be trying to drive through the bottom. Overdrives it there. She's up the racetrack. Wow. Almost hits the wall. Does a really
Oh,
good
wrecking in the back, 46.
Car in the wall. Oh, hard hit.
Caution's out.
Oh, no, they're still wrecking. They're still wrecking on the outside. It's a goodie around hard impact.
Oh, man.
They wrecked a lot after there, too. I think the biggest wrecks were actually after the caution came out.
Man. Thomas will have to sweat another restart. He's one more.
Who was it that spun around there?
Kyle Hanshaw initially.
I think that's going to be Kyle Hanshaw.
Oh, man.
I think he'll be down for the night.
At the Rawls again, Justin Fortner again. 2 guys on the cusp of the playoffs.
Yeah.
With
good.
Johnny Thomas up here, if Johnny wins, he'll lock himself into the playoffs.
That's true.
I think Gavin Hibbs.
Gavin Hibbs as well. If he wins, he should be able to get right into that playoff spot as well.
Burrell went down Pier Road.
Who did Hanshaw absolutely clobber to the inside wall? Is my question. I couldn't quite tell.
Well, we'll pull up another replay here in a bit.
So Hanshaw took somebody head on into the inside wall. I can't tell who it was. Let's get some goody.
They're having a hard time hitting the brakes here tonight.
The next gen car's brakes are usually a little bit like soft when you hit them. Like you can drive it in really deep because you don't really feel the brake pedal. But if you get on it really hard, it doesn't really
because I'm not seeing them being hit.
I will agree with. Oh, it was Urbilas. No, it wasn't Urbilas. It was the 13. Yeah, 13 car is the one who got absolutely pulverized. Stouffer. Welcome to Elite, Chris. Got wrecked last week and then taken to the inside wall this week. That's about right, just from how this season has gone. Will be 2 shift cars on the outside lane here.
Talk about a tale of 2 tails so far. Last week,
what?
Amazing green flag runs in this week's. I mean, whatever you say it. Tale of whatevers. It's been contrasting races. If you compare this race to Charlotte's race last week, where we had so many green flag runs, we can't get very many laps here before we get a massive wreck like that.
Right, and Johnny Thomas, 11 laps to go. He'll restart with under 10 to go, and he'll have the benefit of being the leader. Got to be clean here with it. You know, we talk about Johnny a lot. You know, he's the kind of guy who you want to root for in this elite racing league. He tends to keep it clean. You know, he runs those off strategies, and for the first time in a while this season, we've talked about it. He ran long. He did an off strategy. For the first time, it has worked out perfectly. He is in the right position. Bring it home. It's a great job by Johnny Thomas, and all his competitors have kind of fallen by the wayside, and it's down to a guy with a bunch of damage on the car, and Gavin Hibbs, and then Chad Frankenfield and Nick Indelicato and Ryan Gabe.
Don't look now, but we've got Cody back up to 7th, and Tate Lytle back up to 8th. I don't know how Tate Lytle's up there, and also Scott Crump back up to 12th. How is Scott Crump in 12th? How is that car
out of wrecks
going? Wadsworth got no front bumper on there. Gavel's still running fairly well up there. Hossack, we've seen him around. Mark Rebellis has been in the wall a lot of times. Brent Jones back up to 16th. Chris Wright, who's had massive hits, 17th right now.
It's a race of attrition,
it's hard to believe.
It's a race of attrition. It's to be expected.
Who do you think has this victory?
These cars are made out of, I don't know. These cars are made out of flex tape or something here.
Know who I'm hoping for, but we'll get there when we get there. We got 10 laps to go.
Yeah, personally,
it's gonna be a close one here.
I want to see JT in victory lane. It's been a long time for this man.
Well, let's see. He's got Chad Frankenfield, and we know Chad will do anything it takes to try to get this win. He's going to have a really good start. He's going to be side by side behind him. Johnny Thomas got a really good start there. He's got less than 10 laps to go to try to make it happen, but Chad Frankenfield is just about to clear himself. Not able to just yet for second. It's going to be a battle for second right now as they're hitting the wall behind him.
The big one I wouldn't want to see if I was Johnny Thomas, that 0-1 car, if he can get through there. That car's been good on the short runs today. But I don't think Johnny's aware of that. I think Johnny needs to focus up on the shield right here and just try to make as clean laps as he can.
He's going to have to look for Gavin Hibbs, too. A guy that... got a big wreck going. Oh, no, they say...
No,
they didn't.
Well, they did.
30 around hard.
Caution's out. Yep.
5 or 6 cars involved. Pretty hard contact back there. Oh, boy. Now in the monster car. I didn't even know he was back on track. Got one more shot into the wreck. He was 19 laps down, came back out just to get wrecked again. Oh, no.
It's another guy that doesn't he'll find any wreck, right? There's not a wreck that happens that he doesn't want to be a part of.
That 70 car is so beat up.
Oh, what happened there?
Contact from Hatchie, it looked like, into Fortner sends the 26 car into the wall. Picked up Josh Clark, picked up Picked him up in this one. 5-car incident at the back of the field, and we will re-rack once again, giving Johnny Thomas the opportunity to restart as the leader. 73 got involved in this one as well. Richie, boy, Hearn has been involved in a bunch of stuff tonight as well. Welcome to Elite, Richie.
His first Cup start.
It's a tough way to get going, I would say.
I don't think we've had more than 10 cautions. I think our caution counter.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I remember when we had the ticker issue, I had to restart SDK. Didn't fix the issue.
Since then.
About
14
or 15? One of those.
No, more than that. More than that. We've had to have more than 14.
A couple of 40 lap runs there, I think. I think 14 is about
Maybe.
right. Johnny Thomas leads. Gavin Hibbs, Nick and Delicato did get third from Chad Frankenfield, and all that battling and scuffling before the caution did wave. Delicato is going to be definitely a danger to Johnny here late in this one. Now you've got 2 teammates behind you. Those shifty sports cars might be able to try and line up to go chase down Johnny Thomas rather than fight amongst themselves. That's what Chad Frankenfield was going for. He was running in third.
You know, they were worried about, these drivers on the cutoff line, that once we got to Daytona, that we would have a new winner that might shake things up where that line be. And now we're gonna probably fix that here and move that line immediately.
No. Johnny was 12th in points. Johnny is ahead of the line already. If Johnny were to win, would not be a driver in the back. The line only moves because Rawls has been in every incident tonight. Fortner's been in every incident tonight. Scholl didn't start the race.
What about Gavin?
Clark's been in a bunch of incidents. I didn't check Gavin Hibbs. Oh, wait. I got the stop points pulled up. I'll get him. Gavin is 17th in points. Yeah, this would be a huge.
Yeah.
Wait,
even if he finishes in this spot, he's going to gain a lot of points here.
Hold on. David goofed it. Wasn't standings.
Oh.
Gavin is about 17. I think he's a little bit lower. Gavin's 38th in points.
Okay, well, never mind.
But so, Gavin's not going to be making the playoffs. I think that would be
No, I would say
guys
not.
involved. Guys behind the cut line involved in incidents tonight. Ryan Scholl didn't start the race. Seth Rawls, every incident. Justin Fortner, every incident. Trey Holmes, a bunch of incidents. Josh Clark, a bunch of incidents. Jordan Owens is running 8th.
Good run for him. Yeah.
So Jordan Owens, the biggest benefactor right now.
Well, we're gonna have 3 laps to go here. Definitely a shot at having another caution for sure, but this time around it looks like Johnny Thomas takes the outside to help Chad Frankenfield. I really hope that doesn't bother. You think so?
He's trying to get Gavin and Chad side by side behind and Barry and Delicato back behind them. It's absolutely the right move. It's a great strategy called by Johnny. He just needs to go early, get a nice lead, bring it home.
Well, here we go. We got 3 laps to go. Green flag is back out. Johnny Thomas gets back onto the low pedal. Gavin Hibbs is going to try to see if he can slot in right behind Chad. It's going to be close. It looks like he might be able to here. As here they come down the back straightaway. Everyone's still going.
For it in 3.
Johnny Thomas is going to have a battle.
Got the preferred line, though. You've run that outside line, been able to hold guys off the whole entire night. It's really going to have to ship it in there and maybe rough Johnny up a little bit if he wants to win this thing. Johnny down to the bottom here in 1 and 2.
2 laps to go. All Johnny Thomas needs to do is get it to the white flag.
Delicato sideways.
Easier said than done. Oh, no.
And he's got a little bit of a lead now, and Chad Frankenfield hunting after Gavin.
Oh, they're
takes the
spinning.
black flag.
Caution is out. Caution's out.
Oh, no. Vincent. Scott Crump again.
Yeah. Rucker.
Oh, no.
No.
Jordan Owens got wrecked in that one, too. Johnny will have another restart and potentially a second restart due to the green-white checkered.
Oh,
they're still wrecking.
Again.
Since about had it, I would say. He hit everything. Managed to restart second, get some TV time. He's about had it. He's done for the night. Go back and take a look at what happened there. I think that's going to be Jordan got spun 16. Might be by Sonny D. We gotta go further back and then.
Who hit Jordan? Was it Scott Crump?
Don't know. Let's go take a look. Sonny D side by side with Vince. So Jordan's up in front of this.
Yeah. The wreck happened a little further up.
Excuse me, I chose the wrong driver.
Robert Crump. I mentioned Rucker because he got the wreck.
Yeah, I would say somewhere around Scott Crump.
Jordan's in front of this.
Oh.
Wadsworth?
Oh.
But Crump got spun by
2
Stanley.
wrecks. Oh man, they're gonna have a
Right
hard
next
time.
to each other.
Yeah, both of them.
Well, I feel bad for Jordan too, right? That's a guy we just mentioned that he was having a good points day. Might be able to get into the playoffs.
Don't put me into your blaming art.
Weeks through the grass, Burrell through the grass.
Wadsworth got into him there.
It looked like it. Vincent gets just tagged by Rucker, nowhere to go, headed to the apron. And I think gassing it up was where Vince had some trouble, but that car was broken from the contact.
Ethan's second time taking out a teammate tonight. Oh boy.
Has been a rough night.
It's going to be interesting
for these
during the
drivers.
podcast to see the instant tally amount. I mean, the instants are going to be high. I would have to believe.
You know who's I'm not going to say anything yet. I'll mention it later. Rucker.
That was a hard hit.
He was heading straight for the sand barrels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it caught him. Spun him back up the track. Oh. It's Johnny, Hibbs, Chad, Abel, and then somehow Tyler Fode, Delicato, Wadsworth, somehow Tate Lytle, somehow Ethan Stanley, and somehow Jonathan Cutlet. Those guys, the last 5 have all been involved in wrecks, except for in switching Delicato and Fode.
Let's see how close this was.
How close to Johnny.
So, okay, so this white flag is not the official server state. This is just preliminary graphics. Yeah. They're wrecking back here. Caution's out. Switches it. When he's not holding the white flag, that's when the caution came out. So if we go back.
That's how close Johnny was to...
Right there, the flag is still in effect. Still in effect. Gone. Oh, I almost got that.
Brutal.
Right there.
You know,
right there.
Good news, it's...
He's not holding the white flag.
Well, we are about to go back green up front here. Now it's going to be Johnny Thomas. He's going to be picking the inside lane this time, with Chad Frankenfield behind him, Gavin Hibbs to the outside, trying to keep Ryan Gable there into the unpreferred line, the restart zone. As they are coming around, this may be the last restart here, folks. This is going to be the first green-white checkered. We're back to the restart line. Green flag is out. Johnny Thomas gets a good start once again here. Big restart for him.
It's a huge restart for Johnny Thomas. Gavin is going to be able to hang with Chad side by side behind. Off turn 2, Johnny's looking all right now. It's just if he can keep him straight.
All they have to do is get back to the white flag. So far, that side-by-side battle for second is keeping them far enough away from Johnny Thomas. As here they come to the white flag. They are going to get there. It's going to be official this time around. Johnny Thomas out front. Gavin Hibbs right behind. Johnny Thomas staying cool and collective out front of the race right now.
Johnny's gonna rocket through 3 and 4 right here. The strategy finally pays off. Maybe the most deserved win of the season so far. Johnny Thomas takes home the victory at the Rock 200 for the Elite Belly Up Cup Sports Series. That is awesome, man. What a finish, what a race.
Gets it done, locks himself into the chase, Johnny Thomas does. Congratulations to him. Gets his first win of the season here, and well-deserved.
I had to steal the call from you there. Got to call Johnny Thomas win. That's awesome, man.
No, I let you take it.
That's the best one. And Johnny's, you can see how many folks are happy for Johnny. This is a guy who races with respect every single week. And I try to point it out when I'm in the booth, right? When he's giving and taking and offering a chance for these guys.
Well,
getting run into by Vic and Delicato.
Well,
all celebratory. You got 20 drivers out in the front on the front straightaway trying to show this guy some appreciation.
Well, some of those guys were just trying to tick off their bingo card of who they've hit, and Johnny didn't get into too many wrecks, so they're just trying to get in the last ones. I feel like Scott Crump was the free space.
Yep. What a wild night. You know, we had some really good racing in there. It was peppered with a lot of cautions, but I saw a ton of excellent battles, a good show put on. We definitely lost our heads coming down at the end of the race, but overall, an exciting winner. Somebody who hasn't won in the Elite Cup Series in quite a long time, and on top of that, a number of really exciting and good races and battles throughout the world today. I'm rather pleased. The Rock always puts on a good show. It's just it can definitely get out of your hands if you're not careful and not giving and taking throughout the night.
Rare reverse burnout for Johnny Thomas there. I don't know if it's pulling up the smoke, but he's having fun.
He put reverse and dropped a little reverse across the line for us there. But man, what a great result for Johnny Thomas.
And blew it up.
Really
what's an extra couple $100,000 that Robert will have to replace that engine? He's not going to care. He got that victory.
No, Robert will be all right.
Let's go ahead and pull up our third place finisher here, Ryan Gable, as he was able to get that's finished for Lake Norman. Ryan, it was not exactly what your team wanted. It went awry about halfway through the race. You guys had it essentially locked up 1, 2, 3, 4 for a while there. What ended up happening to set it all back for Lake Norman?
Yeah, well, I wasn't necessarily a part of the things that set it back, thankfully, this week. I mean, I've had a lot of bad luck this year, but no, I mean, it was terrible because I think we were coming out of 2 when Crump and Fody got together, which was what it was. And I think I was in the middle of saying we're like Hendrick Motorsports out here running 1, 2, 3, 4, and I hadn't even finished my statement. And we had thrown that away. So, yeah, unfortunate that we had some incredible speed, but it got away from us here. But I still crawled home third. A couple other things that could have gone my way, and would have got maybe the win there. We had definitely some winning speed. But glad that I know Stanley was able to come back top 10, Fody top 5, driving a modified, and I know Crump I think he got the worst of it, unfortunately, but I'm glad I was able to get out of it all right.
Yeah.
We'll Well, take us through wreck dodging the big wreck that kind of your teammates set off there with about 20 laps to go.
Well,
What was that one? What was that one like?
That was terrifying because I mean, that was when I really lost it because I was actually the first car on fresh tires and I screwed up and hit the wall, and I don't know how it didn't damage the car worse than it did. It actually held up pretty good for as hard as I hit it. And then I fell behind a whole bunch of guys, got freight trained. I was almost 20th, and then I just saw smoke, and I had cars inside of me, behind me, in front of me. I couldn't do anything but just, get on the brakes and hope I missed it, and the seas parted. I don't know who was behind me still. I think it might have been Tate. He thankfully got on the brakes good, and we somehow got through that one. That was, I had thrown it away before that wreck happened, and that wreck got me back in it.
Well, we want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs because you're going to have to do thank yous for your whole team as didn't work out for you guys tonight, but overall still a really good finish for you. Top 3, really good thing to have happen. I know you guys wanted more, but go ahead and give a thank you and shout out to the Hux machine there.
Yes, the Hux machine back on the podium. It's been too long. Yeah, definitely shout out to the team. We worked really well together when we were in control of the race. Unfortunately, it got away from us, but that's racing. This track and car combo, though, was a lot of fun. I love Rockingham, and it was a really good time. Shout out to the league. Of course, you guys up in the booth. It was a good time as usual. Glad I was able to pull off a good finish here this week. But yeah, hopefully be up here again before this thing's over. I know next week, I think it's the end of the regular season. We're in the playoffs, so looking forward to these last couple weeks. It's coming to an end quick. I mean, the playoffs is long, but picked up some good points here to solidify us in the top 25 because that's what I was kind of on the bubble of. But these last 2 weeks got some good finishes. Last 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm in a good spot now. Maybe we can make something happen at Daytona, have some fun, not worry too much about anything, and roll into the playoffs.
We got a good team to make that happen with. Well, good luck to you, and we'll see you at Daytona.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That was Ryan Gable there, finishing in that 3rd position there. We're going to go ahead and bring up our 2nd place driver there of Gavin Hibbs.
Finally ask him about how many times he hit the ball.
Hey, Gavin, congratulations on the 2nd place. Survived the rock. Probably the least amount of times we've seen you hit the wall this race or this season so far. So that was incredible for us to watch. You actually had tied for drivers on the lead lap with our winner there of Johnny Thomas with the least amount of incidents of the race out of lead lap drivers. So congratulations on that. Is that kind of what helped pursue this 2nd place finish that you got?
Yeah, when I came in the practice on Tuesday, just trying to learn the track a little bit more, see what line I can run. Realizing that we were just slow on the longer run and it's just so loose. And then once I figured out what plan I had to do, which was just run the bottom a good chunk of the run and let the guys who run the top a lot earn their rears off and hopefully pounce on them. But unfortunately, we didn't get enough long runs tonight to see how we were able to do after 30 laps. But second always sucks. But if I had to finish second to anybody, it would be either my teammates, but Johnny Thomas especially. Like, Johnny is one of the most nicest guys I've ever met when it comes to league racing. Always a clean driver and always raced me clean. And just want to say congratulations to him on the win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, take us through your season too before now. You know, you've kind of had some unfortunate results. We'll call it that. And what is this kind of? Is that you think this is going to turn you around to kind of line you up for a much better sophomore campaign next year?
Yeah. My goal this year was, just log as many laps as I can. And just honestly just learn a lot from racing with these guys. And here's like you said, my first year running in Cup, and I've ran some with the guys in IndyCar, but Cup is just a whole different breed, and just trying to learn there. And I think this run tonight just shows what we are capable of, and just goal for next season now is just try to eliminate all the bonehead decisions I make, and just be there to the end, and hopefully pounce on it.
Again, congratulations on a really good finish. Just you've had a rough season so far of it and everything, far back there in points. Just kind of one of those things, but a second place finish kind of redeems a little bit of it for you. So go ahead and give us your thank yous and shout outs for being able to wrap up a very difficult race that a lot of people are gonna hope to forget, but you are gonna probably think back a little bit more fondly of.
Obviously, thanking my company, Hibbs Designs. We rolled out with our primary paints, the new primary paint for the rest of the season. If you want to get a paint scheme designed on iRacing, hit me up on Twitter at Hibbs Designs. Obviously, my team here in the league, Shift Esports, Seth, Nick, and Ty for bringing me along and being so welcoming to be a part of the crew. A good friend of mine, Joe Francis, his sponsor, Numbers by Joe. If you want a number or a logo designed and make it come to life, go hit up Joe at I believe Joe 24ever. And then my parent team, Strictly Stock Motorsports, Jesse especially. He's been very supportive of me throughout this whole season.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on that second place finish. Go get some more of these finishes. Stay off the walls. We love to be able to see your car number on the right hand side more than maybe a couple laps. So doing what you did tonight may pay off for you more often.
No guarantees on hitting the wall lots, but thank you guys, and thank you guys for putting this broadcast on.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining us. I'm gonna go ahead and let you do the interview for Johnny Thomas here for the start of it. You gave him the countdown coming to the checker flag. We'll let you start the interview off with Johnny here.
Sure. Johnny Thomas, that race winner tonight. Johnny, congratulations on first of all, and then second of all, give me some thoughts on. I want to say this is your first win in a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
What's it mean to you right now?
Oh, this David, Gerald, this is crazy. I've won, the Daytona 500 in Elite back in 2021, I think. And every win, there's not a lot of them since then. And every win that I get, whether it's in the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, Truck Series, whatever, it just becomes more special just because the competition is. In terms of where it was, when I started doing these league races 10 years ago, it's not even close. These are some of the best dudes, and if they put their mind to it, they could be pro drivers out there on the Coke Series. And to, go mano a mano with them and get the win I'm speechless. This is a Cup race, man, and it's not Daytona or Talladega. The races that I really succeed in, and I feel confident in. But I just felt pretty good tonight, and track position was key. Just to get out front, we played the strategy right. Had to work for it. This was by no means easy for me. I had to get around Gavin. I knew he was the fastest guy on new tires. Same with Fody, and he got in an accident. But man, this is so cool. It's so cool to win. This is a Cup Series race. I'm locked in the playoffs now, and it's awesome. I like I said, I don't really have. I usually have a lot to say, but I don't have a lot to say right now.
I've got one more good one here. Take me through the strategy call to get the track position, right? You stayed out on older tires, 40-something lap tires.
Yeah.
What took you through that? And then, having pulled strategy moves all season long, we've been documenting it in the booth. Right? How this finally working in your favor, where you've been hoping for that to happen all along, did you key in that it finally worked out for you after that caution where you guys were able to come get tires while holding on to the lead?
Yeah, that played into it. Like you nailed it, David, with strategy all year long. We've been trying to just find a way to to get top 10s and top 15s, because we know if we continue to do that, we'll make the playoffs. This just happened to work a lot better. My car was good on the long runs. It has been all year with the next gen. I've been really good on the long runs. Not a top 5 pace car, but top 10. So when I got up front, I knew I was going to start on either row 1 or row 2. I had a buffer behind me. It's all about maintaining a buffer behind you. You got to have 4 or 5 guys in between you and the fast guys. And we had that. I maintained it a little bit. Obviously, on old tires, you get shuffled way back. But you need that caution within like 20 to 30 laps to come out, and it came out. We pitted, got 4 fresh tires, and we weren't pitting again. And like I said, I just had to race Gavin and Fody, and it got real sketchy there. Vince, I think, knocked out Gavin, and I took it basically 3 wide, and I knew I had a really good chance because I know Ethan was on old tires. I was going to get past him, and I just had to hold those guys off on the restarts. It was crazy. I was bummed out because I had it. I saw the white flag, and then the caution came out, so I had to do another green white checker. But it's crazy. Yeah, it was wild last couple laps.
We're gonna. I know I got Jeff Green doing the broadcast with me tomorrow, but
you may come on for 5 minutes.
I feel like I got to get you on there just to go over the race recap and talk about how you were able to do it, because I mean you did it cleanly in a race that was
pretty
full
crazy,
of craziness and positioned yourself masterfully and did an amazing job of holding off people there and I mean just ran your line, didn't make mistakes, and that proved to be the key. I mean, honestly, the absolute key was just not limiting yourself to other people's problems, and that's kind of how your race went. So it was an incredible job to be able to handle that pressure. But we'll have to see. I might get with you. Maybe we'll have.
I should have picked myself. I shouldn't have picked Cutlet.
No, you didn't. You picked Cutlet, and he didn't even do very well. So yeah, we'll have to see if maybe we can have 3 people on for the race review.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's gonna be a lot to review.
There's a lot there.
There's a lot.
but yeah, you see the right front's a little crinkled. I only got 1 incident, and it was that wreck back in 20th or 25th, and everybody checked up.
After the line.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and that was kind of me too, reckon. But that was the only time we ever had a little incident. It was crazy out there, but yeah, we kept it clean.
How good does it feel that you not only your first non-super speedway win, but you won for Belly Up's sponsored series?
It's awesome.
And all that you've
so cool.
put together for Belly Up to be a part of this series, and your connections with Belly Up, and now that you can honestly say that you've won a Belly Up series Cup Series race.
Oh, it's incredible. Mike Brown, has been with me since COVID. Belly Up Sports. And they've brought on not only Belly Up Sports has came on, but all their partners has come on board as well. That you see on my car, Righteous Felon, Beef Jerky, Manscaped, Canadips. They brought so many partners. They've incorporated the podcast that you do, Gerald, which is a huge hit. And to just finally put the Belly Up Sports car in Victory Lane it's got to be huge for those guys. It's huge for me. I know there's a couple other guys with associate sponsors for Belly Up, but to get myself and Mike a victory is huge. But also, it's a humongous win for Mountain Man and Robert to get a victory with that team. I don't know when the last time they were in Victory Lane. I certainly wasn't going to expect it to be me being in Victory Lane before Massey or some of those guys. But this is cool.
Anything else, David, for him?
I have a question.
Just give Johnny his time. Go, Carlos.
Johnny Thomas,
What's up,
I have
Carlos?
a question.
Yeah.
The people want to know, what was that reverse burnout celebration, and what are you calling
like
that
it?
move? I loved it.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever done it, but it was actually, I think me and Hanshaw was messing around a few weeks ago in a practice session or something, and I started doing it. And I was like, oh, you can do it in those cars. So I remembered it as I was doing burnouts. So I was like, I got to do it. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was pretty cool.
Oh, I caught it.
Yeah, it was sweet. I got like I'm not the guy. This is still crazy to me because I'm not the dude that jumps on here and practices all the time. Like I got on here 15 minutes ago. I had a leak in my kitchen sink that it's still not fixed, but it's temporarily fixed. That after I hop off this, I got to go back and fix it. So I didn't put any time towards this, and just felt really good here at the Rock. I don't think we've been here in a long time, so that might have played into my fortune as well because not a lot of guys got some practice.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations, Johnny. And again, very hard fought, very well earned victory, showing that the nice guy can finish first from time to time. So
That's right.
Absolutely. Good job. We'll
Thank
have to, if anybody wants to hear more of Johnny Thomas and here, we'll probably have him on the podcast for tomorrow night and maybe give us a recap of a play-by-play of how he got to this victory here.
Yeah, sounds cool. Quick couple shout outs. Obviously, Belly Up Sports, we already mentioned Mountain Man Motorsports. I think Mom and Dad's watching because Dad sent me a text saying good job. So that's cool. They're watching you guys broadcast it. And then you mentioned nice guys. There's a ton of nice guys in this league, and it's so cool to see the respect when you win and to see everybody coming up and congratulating you. That's the best part about these things. And I hope that these guys get a chance to be in victory lane because there's a lot of them out there that deserve it, and it's coming for them.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations to Johnny, the winner of the Rock 200 for the Belly Up Cup Series here. So again, congratulations, Johnny.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate everything you do.
That was Johnny Thomas able to get the victory here. I know that's something special for you, David, to be able to call him in. And I'm glad we got to see, you know, with as difficult of a race that was, it ended on I would say a high note.
and we saw a lot of good battles, like I mentioned, and you know, it's definitely special for Carlos and I who ran Johnny's League, broadcasted for Johnny's League for several years over in Erska, and as Johnny brought the Belly Up Sports group over here to Elite, he asked me to come announce, and that was how this even got put together. So I mean, Johnny's the reason I'm over here on Wednesday nights talking to you guys. So obviously thank you to Johnny, and I'm really excited for him. I'm really glad he got to win a race, and that's awesome, man. It's one for the good guys, and that's all you can say. That's such a great win.
Absolutely. Again, we appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight, and we'll be back for Daytona Super Speedway. Everyone loves to see that. That's going to be next Wednesday night. We're going to be able to see that. It's going to be the final race of the regular season. Going to be a lot on the line, a lot of storylines to go over. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. And again, if you want more action for the Belly Up Cup Series, go back over the reviews here. Maybe go criticize a little bit more of these drivers that for some of their wrecks. Well, that's what we're going to be doing here on the Belly Up YouTube page, where we're going to be taking a look back on Thursday night. That's going to be at 8 p.m. with Jeff Green and Johnny Thomas and myself. Again, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you joining us for the Rock 200. Thank you, and have yourself a wonderful night, and stay happy.